Hey guys, we're live. This is Jake Robinson with Amazon Hangout Live, and we're interviewing Will Tjernlund. Tjernlund, is that right?
Yes, that's it. That's it. Perfect.
Thanks. You have a great Scrabble last name for Scrabble, man. You could rack up with that. You certainly can't pronounce it, that's for sure. I was telling Will about Saj. Saj was he's in the UK. One of the things I respect about him when he first moved to the UK from India, the guy was living on like 60 pence a day, like 60 cents. He was buying crackers. He ate once a day. That's what he actually ate every day until he could get to the point where he could make some money. But he's bought his own home now over there, so he's kicking it.
That's pretty crazy.
All right. Saj, you're saying it still says I hadn't started the broadcast? Guys, we're live. Or maybe you're a little delayed. Can you hear me now? Because I know we've got, me and Will can hear each other. Port St. Lucie, real clear video. Hear you now. Okay, good deal. So we're up and running. Will, I read about Will. In fact, I went on all the Facebook groups and posted the web retailer interview that you did, which was an awesome interview because I learned a lot about, a lot of tech strategies and techniques that I can actually use. And so I was really impressed with it. And I reached out to you. I don't know how I tracked you down. Maybe I'm sure you're on Facebook somewhere. And I just said, hey, man, I'd love to have you on our webinar. We do this almost every week. Not every week, but it's not always easy to book a guest. But we always find successful sellers, Amazon, FBA, primarily private label. Although we've had a few retail arbitragers on and a few people who specialize in like traveling to China and dealing with manufacturers, that sort of thing. So, Will, I'd like for you to say hello to our group and then maybe give us some kind of a background of how, where'd you come from in business and how did you get to where you are now? And then we'll get into, I'll put on my investigative reporter cap and really dig in because you told me in an email, you said, I don't like interviewers who, ask me easy questions. I want, I'd rather have, hit me with your best shot. Okay, well, you might regret that, brother. I'm gonna give it to you. Go ahead.
All right. So to start off from the very, very beginning, I started in end of middle school through high school was selling random crap on eBay and stuff and Amazon when I was even still in high school. One of the main things, me and my buddy worked at a Target, and so we would, whenever the new PlayStation 3 would come out, they're always no one could ever get them because they'd come off the store shelves so quickly, and so we could just get them as soon as we'd go into work at Target, buy 5 PlayStation 3s and sell them for double the price. Kind of thing. And that was back before the Christmas season. They could have PlayStation 3 could go for $1,500 type of thing on eBay. And so I started way back when. And one of the main reasons why I started is because when my brother was 18, and so he's 6 years older than me, so I was only 12 at the time, 2002-ish. My brother started importing stuff from Alibaba and selling it on eBay. And so this is back in 2002. And so he was
way before the curve then.
He was selling iPod cases before they even had iPhone cases. So he was way back when. He got them branded and all that kind of stuff way back when. And so even starting at age 12, I knew how possible it was to private label your own stuff and sell it online. It's kind of a thought I had in my head very quickly. And so I started selling throughout college a little bit more and started kind of actually ordering stuff from Alibaba and selling the same products over and over again. And when I graduated, my brother and I decided to join forces full time and really take this to the next level. And he had a decent
Were you 18 at that time? At that point, you were 18, graduated from high school?
No, at this point I graduated college.
College, okay. Gotcha.
This is 2013, 2012,
okay.
End of 2012, 2013. And so I started selling with my brother. He had a bunch of capital from selling online for already 10 years at this point, pretty much. And so we both hit the ground running, did it full time, and did like $1.7 million, I think, in sales the first year. And for 2014, we did a little under $7 million in sales between Amazon and eBay. eBay doing like a little under $1 million in sales on eBay. And going into 2015, I kind of decided that this is already not for me. I kind of did like the corner office test where you look where you might be in 20 years if everything goes great. And I'd still most likely be like managing a warehouse and kind of managing inventory and like managing workers. And that's not what I really wanted to do. So back in the very end of April, I quit working with my brother and started working with just myself. And now I am working by myself full time. I'm working literally only like a few hours a week. And for the month of July, I did a little under, I think like $9,500 in sales already. And I'm only 3 months into my new kind of private label business. And so yeah, that's where I am now. I'm running that and it's going really well and it's scaling really well. And this time around, instead of just having a bunch of inventory and just making money for the sake of money and just trying to grow revenue for the sake of growing revenue, I'm only focusing on profits and I'm only focusing on how to get the most dollars in my pocket as quick as possible and not worried as much about growing the Amazon business just for the sake of growing the Amazon business.
So you're kind of you're taking on the MAM approach, make Amazon the most money, which makes you the most money. Would you say that's true?
I before it was my brother and I got kind of trapped in a couple of our contracts where we were doing stuff where we had like minimum order quantities of like $500,000, and so we would have to say they carried 1,000 SKUs where there's 10 SKUs that we really want from them that sell like crazy, but we'd have to carry the other 990 SKUs and buy 3 of each one of those items just to get up to the minimum order quantity. And so those 3 items would sell over the 3 months. We wouldn't like be stuck with them, but at the same time, we're tied up with all this inventory that doesn't actually sell quickly, and we're stuck with it, and we have all this cash tied up, so we can't grow the business or pay ourselves kind of thing. And so it's this the Amazon eventually turns into just a cash management game once you figure out how to private label products.
So it's kind of like playing Monopoly, you know, it's which hotels do you put on which properties and just keep on building it, but it's just basically shuffling money around, trying to get or using your resources wisely, lead time and reordering and inventory management and all that kind of stuff. But going back to this, when you were working with him the last couple of years, you did, you know, over $1 million in sales. What kind of, because you're also on eBay, what kind of margins are you guys running as far as profit against that business you're running with him?
It was almost 100% reinvested, but after everything, if you just get like a broad average, about 20%. After all Amazon fees, all after every single thing, it's like about 20%.
Okay, I reckon when you start over like you've done now from scratch, did you start with like one product, or what did you do?
Yeah, started with one product and then just worked my way from there. One product, 0 reviews, 0 seller reviews.
Okay, so would you say that it's easier to run a higher margin business when you're first getting started versus as you scale up and starting to do, say, millions, it's tougher to squeeze out those 30 or 40% margins?
This is an interesting way to think about it. So me and my brother, we did about $7 million in 2014, and we were predicting at least $10 million in 2015. And I was explaining this to my brother that at 20% margin, if we want to put another 100 grand in our pocket, we need to sell another 500 grand worth of stuff, which is going to be pretty difficult. But if we want to put another 100 grand in our pocket at $10 million in revenue, all we have to do is increase profit by 1%, and we put another 100 grand in our pocket. And so once you get to the $10 million mark, it's much easier to lean out your business and just try to increase profit than try to just expand your revenue more.
So you would say things like, let's start shipping by sea instead of air, and that might give you that 1% bump just from saving money on your shipping, as just an example.
Maybe that, or maybe something that we could do as simple as there's a program called Refund Retriever, if you've ever heard of that.
No, tell us about it.
Refund Retriever sits there and it goes and checks all of your FedEx and all your UPS shipments that go out, and they make sure that they're delivered exactly on time. Because if they're not, you're eligible for a full refund from UPS and FedEx. And so this software just goes in the background and pretty much just cuts you a check for like $1,500 every week because UPS always screws up. And no one ever gets this money because they don't ever know. And Refund Retriever, I think their pricing is that they just split the money that they get back 50-50 with you, which is fair because you weren't going to get the money in the first place. But just doing dumb stuff like that where it's like, okay, making sure that all of our packages get on time so we're not overpaying for shipping, and making sure that like we don't have to buy boxes ever because we're reusing boxes, and like stuff like that can really add up to an extra 1% real quickly. And that, and two, finding whatever products only get us a 19% profit margin and trying to replace them with a product that gets us 21% margin kind of thing too. And slowly phase out the lower selling velocity and lower margin products and replace them with higher margin products because we have that luxury now that we have such a big rolling catalog.
Well, that's the 80-20 rule in some effect. GE, Fortune 500 company, every year they would take a look at all their employees, and they basically the bottom 20% when it comes in on the review, they got cut. They just got rid of the bottom 20%. They would always ratchet up their skills of their people. So I guess that's another way that they did it to try to ratchet up. But you could just raise your price a little bit. And have you tried that?
Yeah, it's not. One of the reasons why people, I think, buy our stuff is because our price is so legit. And two, we have a lot of my brother and I were doing like half wholesale, half private label. And because we would contact the manufacturers that were selling branded stuff against us. And so we would sell the stuff that is actually branded, and then we private label a version too. So when you search and you go on the first page of that listing of like that search, all 10 products would be sold by us. So you can shop around all you want. You have to buy from us because half of the products we private labeled by us, half are be wholesaled by us.
So are you saying like you'd go in and get something like a Black & Decker drill that you resold from Black & Decker, but then you'd go get a private label version of that drill?
Yeah, what we would do is we would contact Black & Decker, we'd contact Makita or whatever they are, and we'd contact all the different, like 8 different brands and be like, hey, I'm an online retailer, we'd like to carry your product. We'd like to
So you're wholesaling it?
Yeah, wholesaling it and getting an actual like real account with the company, not just like buying it,
right,
like doing retail arbitrage. And so then doing that and then seeing exactly what sizes sell the best and then private labeling those ones because we know that they're getting a hefty margin. So if you want to buy the nice power drill, you want to buy the super nice power drill, or you want to buy the crappy power drill, it doesn't matter to me because I'm making $20 off each one of them regardless.
So how did they find you? How come they didn't find other people that were wholesaling and or private labeling those similar products?
How come like Black & Decker or some company like that you're saying?
No, I'm saying how somebody like you. Like I come along and I'm also got an account with Black & Decker and I'm also selling the super nice power drill and the crappy power drill. How come I'm not getting some of that business? How come you're saying if you sell it, they're going to buy it?
I got we just push people around with cash. Is that we just had more cash than other people. And so as I was saying, like we'd order, if we'd have to order for the year once and we just order $500,000 at once, they would do crazy stuff where these manufacturers, these like legit wholesale brands would be like, all right, if you pay $500,000 and if you pay it in cash up front, we'll give you 18% off the normal wholesale price.
So you undersold everybody.
And so then so then we could sit there and sell at like 1% lower than, because we know the wholesale price that everyone else is getting it at because we worked out a special deal. And so we'd sit there and grease the gears and then we'd go, okay, well, we're going to sell it at X price because we know they can't go lower than Y. And so we would never get into a product where it would be like we'd actually be competing against someone. We'd only go into ones where we could just dominate the crap out of them. And like
so it's like an unfair competition.
Well, it's fair. They can get cash if they want to. I'm
just kidding. I think it's
no,
cool.
Yeah, but seriously though. And with the like Black & Decker is a bad example because like they're too big of a brand name. Any Joe Schmo calling them, they would never answer their phone and be like, yeah, you can sell a product on Amazon. But there's a bunch of like much smaller brand names out there that like you're a salesman's dream if you call them up and go, hey, was looking at your product, I want to order $20,000 of it. They go, oh man, I do cold calls all day hoping to get a sale like this. Like, oh yeah, sure, I'll send you over the paperwork right now. Like, sign this contract and we'll set up a wholesale account this afternoon, kind of thing.
Robert says he. Wait a minute. I thought you said you didn't like that concept, Robert. I like that concept overall. Okay, I thought you said you didn't like that. I was about to have Robert come on and get in a contest with you, but he likes that concept overall. It is pretty cool, but
it ties up a lot of capital. Yeah, it ties up a lot of capital doing that there. So that's why with my new way of me doing it by myself, I'm not doing a lot of these strategies.
All right. So what did you in the web retailer article? What are those strategies that you were doing there that you can't do in private label? What would you say? Well, I just got to give that price. So you got to give up the getting a lot of money and just dominating wholesale. That's not a private label anyway. So private label, how are you going to dominate in private label? What makes you so special?
Okay, the way you dominate in private label is by not using all these vanity metrics and fake software that everyone uses, and really testing the products yourself. I had a virtual assistant go through my 1,700 different SKUs and compare the amount of sales velocity that we get compared to like Jungle Scout and AMZ Tracker, not AMZ Tracker, but like
Amazon Shark,
and FBA Toolkit and all those, and they're just wildly yeah, they're just wildly inaccurate. They would say we sold 10 when we sold 5. They'd say we sold 5 when we sold 10 a week. They're all over the place, and so it's really hard for people to like build their whole business, and they sit there. And so I'll break it down real quick. A lot of people plan and do kind of paralysis by analysis. And they sit there and look at numbers all day. And they sit there and crunch numbers and try to think of these marketing campaigns. And then they finally launch a product 3 months later and don't really know if it's going to work or not. Where my strategy would be to order 10 products that have 5 to 7 day shipping on AliExpress that seem like they might be profitable. Take those 10 products within a week, throw them on Amazon, see which ones sell, 80-20 it. 2 of them will sell within a week. 8 of them won't sell. Liquidate those 8. Double down on those 2, and then keep reordering those 2 over and over again and selling them and just flipping them real quick while you find someone on Alibaba who makes that same thing. And so you're sitting there flipping the product while you're working on your private label version. So then in 2 months, when you actually come out with your private label version, all you do is go to the listing, change the title, change the pictures to your private label one, and you have this listing with reviews and with sales history in a niche that you know that sells, opposed to the other way where you do all this stuff before testing the market ahead of time. Okay,
yeah, James Amazio is one of the guys that, in fact, he's my guy that I partner up with. He did that too. He launched 5 to 7 products at almost one time, all from AliExpress, put them up there with absolutely no marketing. He said, I'd start getting organic sales on, selling 2 or 3 the first week. I knew I had a winner right there.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel too. It's like I just threw up a bunch of beer accessories, and like 2 of the products sold 5 the first day, and it's like, wow, I am on to something. Because if I do any marketing and private labeling, and it actually had reviews, this thing's gonna sell like crazy. But it's like I had no reviews and I was hidden and I still got sales. So it's like I must be onto something.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you pimp out your listing at all with the AliExpress? I mean, I know when you're going to private label, you're going to get better images, but you don't pimp it out at all. You don't do any keywords or anything.
No way. I put some sort of keywords in the title, kind of thing. Like I'm not like an idiot, but I don't stuff it or anything, or I don't like. Right. I don't like no one looks at the description, so I'll usually just stuff that with keywords because no one actually scrolls down and actually looks at that. And I usually will retake the picture. Chinese suppliers always have this like weird like old school yellow tint on all their photos, and so I'll always go and retake them myself on my iPhone and edit them out because it always looks kind of ghetto. But besides that, like literally my buddy and I, where I got stuff shipped over, I brought my stuff over to his house and I was labeling and taking pictures of new beer accessories out by his pool the other day, and then sent them into Amazon. And it's like when instead of sitting there procrastinating for 2 weeks looking at analytics, you could have your product in stock at Amazon in 2 weeks, type of thing, from ordering on AliExpress and getting it in. And then you don't sit around going, I wonder if this sells. You go, oh, within 3 weeks, you know if this is a good product or not, and you can move forward because time's money.
Do you do any pay-per-click?
Yeah, I love pay-per-click. Pay-per-click is huge. It's there is a million different keywords on Amazon right now that have not been targeted yet on pay-per-click, and so you get them for like 4 to 5 cents a click. And so like me and my brother we were selling kind of overpriced stuff. We were selling like more expensive stuff in like the $100 range. And I can't remember the exact numbers, but last time I checked, we started pay-per-click last November. So it's maybe like 8 months old now. And we spent like 11 grand and made like 600 grand.
Holy Toledo.
Because when you're selling $100 item and no one's going after the keyword of high velocity 8-inch inline duct fan, you can pay 4 cents a click. And so when you can pay 4 cents a click, you can have 500 clicks per sale and you still make a profit.
Say that again.
Okay, so you go and search something on Amazon and you look at the top, you look at the side, there's no ads.
Okay.
So that means that the cost per click is going to be around like 4 to 6 cents. I've figured out.
But doesn't that also mean that it's probably not a product that's selling very well if there's no sponsored ads on it?
No, that's where it's 100%, because it's like I was just looking at a product the other day. What was it? It was like some sort of like coffee machine. It was like an espresso machine, and just like no one had gone after the keyword espresso machine yet. It's just because there's like stuff like that. It's just so simple where it's just like, wait, just no one ever thought of it, because it's like anytime I do have any competition bidding on a keyword, I quit bidding on it. But for the most part, I have zero competition. So I was selling marijuana growing sunglasses for like growing indoors, and no one's going after the ads for marijuana growing sunglasses. And it's like, I can sell 60 pairs a month, no problem. No one bugs me. No one's going to piggyback on me because I'm flying under the radar with this stupid little product. But then this one product makes me $500 a month profit. And it's like, well, that's nice, an extra $6 grand a year. I don't mind that.
So you haven't stumbled across the onion cutting sunglasses, right?
No, I haven't.
There's some onion goggles out there that you can put on when you're cutting onions. They're kind of like that same vein.
I stay away from all kitchen, pet, or workout accessories.
Why is that?
Because that's what all the ASM and all those courses tell everyone to sell. So it's just, you look and it's all these people. It's just funny because I'll go into marijuana growing sunglasses and no one knows what they're doing selling on Amazon. It's a bunch of bigger companies that go there and get ads for cheap and all that stuff. You try to go after like meat claws. You got a bunch of people who are all sitting there trying to optimize their listing, and you're sitting there and you're competing for no reason. It's like there's a million niches out there that no one has touched yet. And everyone decides to go after the niche that everyone's in all the time. And it's just ridiculous to me.
So what do you think about oversized products, or like you said, the coffee maker, the espresso machine? One of the reasons you might not find any competition because they all say stay away from electronics. So are you into electronics as well?
I usually like to only do stuff that has like an on and off switch, like no more than that. I get kind of nervous.
Like no computer boards in it.
Yeah, like if I got something with like a LCD display or something with touch buttons or something like that, it's like, that makes me nervous. But I'm going to the Canton Fair in China this October, and I went last October too. And it's nice when you do that because you can actually hold the electronic in your hand and really check it out, go to the factory and really get down and see how nice the quality is. But if you're going to be trying to sell electronics on Amazon, good luck. It's just going to be such a crapshoot, and you're going to have so many quality control issues, and there's much easier ways to do it. The best is to sell different types of hunks of rubber, plastic, or metal, and that's the easiest way to make sure that your products never break.
I have to agree with that because it just seems like if you're going to deal with electronics, number one, you're competing against name brands like Sony and Samsung, and then you got to go get an off-brand company that you don't know if they're UL certified. You don't know if I just had a lady in Australia ask me to let her ship about 120 items to my house, and then I turned around and shipped them to Australia because she couldn't get them back, and they were all defective. They were this. I can't tell you. Well, shouldn't say what it was, but it was a weird light. It was an LED light, and they just didn't work. And there's just it looked when I got it and opened it up, I looked at it and said, "This is kind of trinket stuff that you get in a bag at a trade show where they give away for free, like a promotional item. Those things are never quality." And that's what she was selling.
It's kind of thing where if you're gonna get into electronics, make the $5,000 investment and actually fly to China and tour 20 warehouses factories in a row that make the same exact thing, and really get down to who has the best quality and why and who makes it the best. Because if you're gonna really get into electronics, jump in head first and like really go and inspect it, fly over there and check it out, because that's the last thing you want to do is wait 4 weeks for a sample to arrive. It's broken. You order a different sample, wait 4 weeks. That one's broken too. And now you've wasted 2 months and you haven't sold anything yet.
Jimmy was asking, how did you get such high capital when you were in the wholesale business? It's because your brother had been in the business for like 10 years.
Yeah, my brother had been literally selling online. And when my brother was selling online, like 2002, 2003, 2004, obviously it's like it was a gold mine back then. Anyone with like half a brain who knew what they were doing, it's like no one had got on like the Amazon and eBay kind of like bandwagon yet. So it must have been just like shooting fish in a barrel for him. He had to make all the mistakes himself. Like he would have ordered, if they had it available now, he would have ordered a tablet from China and tried to sell it on eBay because he wouldn't have known better back in 2002. You know what I'm saying? You'd have been like, oh my gosh, they have a tablet for $20? Like, might as well try it. And then it just turns out to be a drink coaster pretty much.
Well, this kind of fits in. This is one of the questions we got from the surveys. That, by the way, guys, when you guys register for each week's webinar, the thank you page has a 5-question survey. The first question is a question you can ask our guests. So this one is, Jim asked, Amazon is a gold rush. Well, that's not the one I wanted to ask. Hold on, let me take that back off because that is not the one. Sorry. Where did I see that? Oh gosh, I want to, because it fits right in. I'll find it. He basically said that there's so many newcomers. Here it is right here. Where do you see the future of Amazon with all these new sellers coming online? Is the gold rush over?
I'm not afraid of these new sellers or anything like that because
well, you've been selling since you're 12. No wonder.
Well, and no offense to anyone out there, but I don't think any of them really take it that seriously. I think that you get a Facebook group that has 10,000 people in it. I bet 9,000 of people on there have never sold one item, and then another 900 of them have one product at Amazon, and then there might be 100 people out of the 10,000 who actually are like seriously doing this for a living type of thing. And so it's like someone who has one SKU and has like $4,000 to play with. My brother and I have shown in the past that we can just push you around and just totally take you out with if you only have $4,000 of cash available kind of thing. So it's like last thing I'm worried about is that kind of stuff. What I'm more worried about is that my brother and I towards the end started selling to Amazon, not just selling on Amazon. They contacted us. And so I'm way more worried about Amazon just starting at the top of the bestseller list and just sourcing everything themselves and kicking everyone out, kicking all the third-party sellers off.
I'm way more really you're thinking they're going to kick off 40% of their business? I mean, that's 40% of the business comes from third party.
Not overnight, but it's going to take 10 years because they're already going through and sourcing the best-selling stuff one by one. And eventually they're going to make their way all the way down the list where it's like, yeah, you can sell really obscure handmade leather stuff because Amazon doesn't want to source it. But for the most part, they can go through and go, okay, 80% of our sales come from the top 20% of the items. We're going to source all those ourselves.
So all the meat claw people are out of business.
This is my evil scheme with the meat claw people is that you go through, since no one has any money, everyone probably only has like 10 to 50 units in stock, maybe 100. You go through, you get $1 million, you spend $500,000 and buy out everyone's inventory on the first 3 pages. And then you spend the other $500,000 buying a bunch of meat claws and private labeling them. And so then there's gonna be like a 3-week span where all the sellers can't get inventory back in stock, and you'll be the only meat claw there for 3 weeks. You'll get all the sales organically, and then they will never be able to compete because you're buying $500,000 at a time. So you're buying them cheaper than anyone else, and they're all out of stock. So you could take the whole meat claw market out in $1 million easy.
Can we start a little co-op investment club and feed you the money to do that?
No, honestly, because I talk to people every once in a while. They're like, "Oh yeah, I got an investor who, has like $1 million, blah blah blah." Like, do you think they can make money pretty quick on Amazon? And it's like, if you just gave me $1 million in cash and said, "What can you do with it?" I could really like ruin some people. Like, not like trying to, but it's just like if I want to make money with $1 million on Amazon, it's like someone else is gonna have to lose out. That's just the way it is.
Right, you got to fight it out with competition, but you're not in that market. You're started from zero. How do you think your sales are going to progress over this coming year? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, okay, so I did a little under $10,000 in July. I think we can do, or not we, but like me. I think I can do about $13,000 maybe in August. and then keep adding SKUs. And the goal is to get up to about $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a month, and then stop. Because I've learned my lesson. There's no reason to grow past $1 million a year in revenue. It's just a pain in the ass after that point. So I will do $1 million in revenue, lean everything out, make it so I get like 250 grand a year, automate everything, hire everything out, and just sit back and make 250 grand a year. Hopefully, and I think
on the beach.
I think I can get up to $1 million in revenue by this time next year. So maybe not like $1 million in revenue right away, but I think I need $22,740 a day to make $1 million a year in sales. So I think I can get.
What's your margin?
Like a little higher, like 25-30%.
Okay.
And so I think.
But wait a minute. I disagree that that's going to work.
Why?
Because I think it'll work until you get to the point where you automate everything, and then products change and markets change. You're going to have to probably face some market.
That's the thing, is that it's not. I'm not going to just quit my job and never check my Amazon account again after that. But then once I get it up to $1 million a year, I can only focus on profit building activities. So I only will focus on stuff where it's like me actually meeting suppliers in China and finding new products, me sourcing new products, all that kind of stuff, the actual work I want to do. I won't do anything of checking emails. I won't make sure any of the products are shipped on time. I won't be checking reviews. I'll have all that stuff automated, where my only job then is to like, oh, do you want to add a new SKU today? Okay, I guess I will. Order 1,000 new of this. Okay, well, that's my work for the day. I'll check it out in another month, kind of thing, when the product's here.
The weather's good in Hong Kong. I think I'll fly over and hang out for a minute and see if I can find something.
Exactly. It's a little cold in Minnesota this time of year. I'm going to go hang out in Costa Rica until my products arrive.
And do you travel a lot now?
Yeah, I travel most, like, every other week or so.
Is it for business or pleasure or what?
Majority, like 99% of it, pleasure.
So you should try to do business each time you go on a trip, whether you discuss business, so you can write it off at least.
Well, yeah, I should do a lot more write-ups than I do, but I luckily have a decent amount of people now following me on Twitter and stuff. So like whenever I tweet out where I'm going next, I always meet up with at least one Amazon seller in person, whatever city I'm in, if it's Amsterdam or if it's Cologne, Germany, or if it's Las Vegas or wherever.
Okay, Wayne was asking, what did I do with it? I think I just sent it over. What's the best way to find a product? Did you already answer that by?
It's a hard question to actually answer because it's such an open-ended question. I could talk for 3 weeks straight about how to find the best product.
Okay, what is the first way you would find a product? If is the AliExpress method again, but how do you choose something on AliExpress? I mean, how do you decide whether to get beer accessories or not?
A quick rule of thumb I have, which doesn't help a lot of people, is that I like to make sure that I can get on like page 2 without doing anything. Like it's like not competitive at all. I don't like going after competitive niches at all. I like going after niches that are like, it's with like the marijuana growing sunglasses. I'll answer Wayne's question with the minimum amount of cash. With the marijuana growing sunglasses, they didn't even have enough to fill out the first page. You know what I'm saying? They only had like 8 items on there. So I knew if
So you're saying is they automatically start showing stuff that's not what you were searching for.
Yeah, because they couldn't even fill it up. So it's like I knew I'd be on the first page if I just threw something up. And with the marijuana growing sunglasses too, I bought 20 pairs of them with cases and shipping from AliExpress for $70. And so I started with when I started over, I started with $70. I flipped those within a week and made $400 off them.
So you were saying that it was costing you about $3.75 a piece or something in that neighborhood?
Yeah.
But doesn't that also mean that if there's a handful of sellers on the first page, how do you know you're not getting into a niche where there's just not a lot of sales being done?
Just because like random, I looked at the other marijuana growing sunglasses, and one had 50 reviews, one had 40 reviews, one had 15, another one had 15. And it's like those didn't just come out of nowhere. And it's like that's the thing is that worst case scenario is I wasted $70. Who cares? But when you have a loser, it loses once, and I can liquidate those things for $4 and make my money back. But when you find, that's why I took the 80-20 rule. When you have 8 losers, whatever, the losers once. But when you find those 2 winners, those winners are over and over again, and you can make money off those forever. And so it's like
compounded out.
Well, yeah. So to risk $70 8 times to make $100,000 once, I could care less. Then I'll keep doing that all day. If the odds are in my favor.
Well, Lady K is saying, but how did you even come across the idea to sell weed growing sunglasses anyway?
Honestly, it's me just getting lost on Amazon. I was looking at sunglasses to sell, and I always like selling a niche within a niche. If I sell generic sunglasses, I'll be on page 1000 of Amazon starting out. But if I sell marijuana growing sunglasses, I'll be on page 1. So obviously I want to target the one that's easier to rank in. And so it's like with the marijuana growing sunglasses, I think I saw them as like a mutual, like, oh, you might also be interested in this type of thing. And I clicked on it and I go, what, there's such thing as marijuana growing sunglasses? And so I searched marijuana growing sunglasses and I see that there's only 8 of them on there. And then I look it up on AliExpress and I go, what? These things are $2. They're selling them for 70. It's like, I'll sell them for 15 and make a killing. Okay. So a couple clicks. I got sunglasses on my way. I got them in stock in Amazon within 10 days and then sold out within another 4 days.
What were you selling?
I think $14.99 is what I sold them for.
And they were selling for 70. Why in the heck didn't you get somewhere in between?
Well, that's the whole thing though, is that the whole Amazon thing is based off of first getting your product in front of people, so either through ads or organically, and then second off, it's giving them a reason to buy. Why are you different than someone else? And so there was people selling the marijuana growing sunglasses at like $5, and they had terrible reviews, and then they had good ones for like $70 and $100 with great reviews. And so I thought if I price mine, I think they might be $19.99, might be $14.99, I don't know. But if I price mine in that middle range, that will entice a lot of people because they'll go, I don't want the $5 one because that looks like a piece of junk, but I also want to spend $70. So I'll just buy the $20 one because at least I'm getting something nice.
But what's wrong with $39.95? I mean, that's still a heck of a lot less than 70.
It's still a heck of a lot less than 70, but like I knew in my heart that these glasses were just junk. Like the guys who were selling them for 70 actually probably got nicer glasses and like actually got them branded and all that kind of stuff. I was just flipping junk from AliExpress. So I just knew deep in my heart that if someone got this at $15, they'd probably leave a good review. If someone got this at $45, they'd probably be like, this thing doesn't seem that nice for $45.
So these are flipping off of AliExpress. Now, if you go back and source those and do what they did in private label, you would raise your price if you bumped up the quality.
Exactly. That's the whole plan, is that you slowly move your way into private labeling, where I flip these for, say, after a couple weeks, I know that they're already selling well. And so I go to Alibaba, find a real manufacturer, get them branded. So when I relaunch them later on, I can charge $35. And when I have my private label one, you can add more margin because there's more perceived value in something that has a branded logo than something that's unbranded. Even though
nice
I put
box
a brand,
or case.
yeah, exactly. Even though I put a brand in the title to make it look nice, like I put like Will's marijuana growing sunglasses, so like it looks private label, so people won't piggyback on me. But eventually I'll go through and actually get the Will etched into it, laser etched, and then I can start charging more, and then I can start. But it's nice having all those reviews and all that sales history and knowing that the product sells ahead of time. Because if it sells unbranded, it will sell obviously branded.
And Lady K wants to follow up. Please explain your concept of getting lost on Amazon. Do you mean like initially searching for sunglasses, look at the best sellers, sort by reviews, etc.? What? How do you get lost on Amazon?
No, it just no. I never look at any analytics. It's all like everyone likes to like hack the Amazon algorithm and likes to like try to optimize your listing for the Amazon algorithm. And I take more like the human side, like what would a human like to see kind of thing. And so I just get lost clicking on pictures, honestly, on Amazon and start looking around all that stuff. And I don't really pay attention to bestseller rankings or anything like that.
Just surfing the internet. Yeah, just click on a link, look at something, see where it leads you.
It was really interesting that I had no idea. Me and my brother had already sold a couple million on Amazon, and I had no idea that everyone was talking about selling on Amazon online. And then I got into these Facebook groups and all that stuff, and I saw that everyone was kind of spreading around misinformation and all this stuff, and it was just very, very bizarre. And I couldn't believe how everyone bases all their decisions off BSR, because I didn't even know what BSR was, and I had done like 2 million in sales already.
Would you say though that it's, as a good rule of thumb, that something that's selling less than say 10,000 or 12,000 is a good seller, and if it's selling much over that, that it's probably the velocity is probably a lot lower?
I have no idea. I have no idea what's a good BSR or not. I still don't look at it. I have no idea. It's all pseudo analytics to me. Someone could boost up they give out 500 free samples, and then their BSR is crazy that day, and you're just looking at just totally misinformation. It's all pseudo analytics. It's all not real like hardcore evidence.
So besides testing, is there any other way that you can look at a product and say, I think it sells a lot or not?
You can look at it and say, I think it sells a lot or not, but you can't prove it. And so it's like when people are sitting there looking at the analytics day in and day out trying to pick a product, you're looking at false information. So it's like, if you're just kind of looking at it and you go, oh, it has 100 reviews, must sell decent, I'll try it. It's like, that's the most thought I'll ever give to it. It's never going to be something like, oh, 100 reviews. Well, what's the BSR? Well, what category is it in? Well, what does Jungle Scout say? Well, what does this software say? Well, then hold on, let me put it all in my spreadsheet, and then this algorithm comes out and it goes, oh, this is going to be a for sure winner. It's like, that's not how it works. It's like I throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and a couple noodles stick. That's it.
Robert says, I have many branded items that are not BSRs, but they sell for me. You mean they're not very high BSRs, Robert?
My brother and I, when I finally figured out what BSR was, and the reason why I quit on it right away was that I think majority of our products were in the 100,000 range, where it was like, oh, so no one gives our products any respect, because we were selling a lot in like the industrial and scientific. And so in industrial scientific, they have like a bunch of nuts and screws for sale. And so it's like, yeah, of course they sell 1,000 units a day. So our BSR is all messed up. So it's like the BSR is just worthless, honestly.
All right.
I don't know why Amazon even provides it. It's really weird.
So they want to psych everybody out. So you'll go find the stuff that they can take over your product later. Which reminds me, I meant to ask this question earlier. Did you guys ever have a product you were selling and Amazon came and bought the company out or contracted with the company and booted you off of your ability to sell it?
Well, they didn't boot our ability off to sell it, but they practically did, because they just take over the buy box and don't let anyone else win it.
So you think they just brute force keep it? They just, oh, it belongs to us, and no matter even if you're selling it for less. And
so the thing is, it's just about using Amazon to your advantage. So it's like there was a couple products we were selling that had really high pricing, but they everyone had to be the exact same price because the manufacturer set the pricing. And so there's 40 sellers selling the same exact item at the same exact price. And so me and my brother would go and sell that item to Amazon. Amazon would take over the buy box 100%. We get smaller margin, but then we'd get every sale instead of only getting 2% of the buy box.
Mir asked this: what do you think about designing or developing your own line of products and build a brand? It can solve the problem where Amazon source for your products. Does it? Will you agree with that?
I think that if you have a background in design and developing, right ahead. I think that a lot of people use design development as a form of procrastination, and they'll sit there and have a bunch of logo iterations, and they'll do a bunch of stuff, and they'll just spin their tires for 3 months and never get anything done. I would recommend selling a bunch of products first, figuring out what people's pain points are, and then doing a slight adjustment to your product to make it so your customer, it fits their needs a little bit more. Starting from scratch, unless that's what you do for a living, sounds like literally the worst idea, because I have yet to see many Amazon sellers come to me and be like, yeah, I actually followed through and actually got a manufactured my brand new product that I designed myself. That almost never happens.
I don't necessarily mean coming up with like a product that would be an invention where, you know, nobody else can have it, but I just think maybe what he's saying is a line of products that are all like, you know, beer accessories. They're all the same thing. You brand it and you don't go outside of that particular niche.
So you're saying, is that a good idea to stay within your niche?
Yeah. Versus just going after different products in different categories.
It's not a bad idea. It's nice for when like you want to go build an e-commerce site and kind of start trying to get your visitors to go to your own platform. But I like to always diversify in a million different niches, just because it's just like stocks, where if all of a sudden some big player comes in and buys out all the meat claws and you're the top meat claw seller, well, that's only 10% of your sales. So you just source a new product and your sales are back to normal, opposed to putting all your eggs in one basket and having a few products in one niche, and then someone else comes in and takes over that niche and you're totally screwed.
So what do you do about once you do decide you're flipping off of AliExpress and you finally source the item? By the way, doesn't a lot of those guys that sell off of AliExpress are also the manufacturer, where you can just cut a deal with them on a higher MOQ, and then you're not buying off AliExpress, or you're not buying direct? But what is the steps you go through to pimp out the listing and do images and all of that? Do you do all that yourself?
Yeah, well, by pimp out the listing, do you mean like sharing the link around?
No, pimp out the listing meaning all nine, 9 images and all really nice and
Oh yeah,
good,
I'll
good
do.
keywords and stuff.
I usually don't do 9 images unless it's necessary, unless it's kind of a complicated thing that needs 9 images. It just like doesn't need it, whatever. Also with the like bullet points, I try my best just to kind of target keywords, and I'll look a little bit at Amazon ads to see which keywords are the least competitive and I'll target those ones. But for the most part, is that with my brother and I having so many SKUs and me selling for so long, I'm so numb to any of that kind of stuff where it's like I just don't treat any of my products ever like they're my baby, and I just think of them like I'm just selling a bunch of different kinds of rocks. And so I never get too amped up writing the descriptions or taking really, really nice photos or anything like that. I know I can get like 95% quality in photos by just taking them with my iPhone and editing out the background myself. And to get to that next step of the 100% quality, I'd have to hire like a professional photographer, and I'm not going to do that. So I try to run my business as lean as possible, and I don't do a lot of like pimping out to say, or like a lot of like kind of bending of Amazon's rules at all, because it's.
I don't mean bending any rules. I'm just saying if somebody else has these marijuana sunglasses and they have one image and you have 5 images, yours are better than theirs, and
Oh yeah,
they didn't figure out how to do the white background so you can zoom in on them, and you did, and at least put a nice a good relevant keyword title, but not overstuffed and all of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I never overstuff it, and I always try to make mine look too like Amazon kind of has a template of what they want every listing to look like, and they don't want like you to put like 100% money back guarantee badge on it. They don't want you to overstuff the title, and they don't want you to put a bunch of special characters into it. And so I just follow all those rules and just try to make it look as professional and clean as possible, and try to make it look nice for the buyer and not make it look nice for the Amazon algorithm as much. Because I know I can get my item in front of people. I'm not worried about getting my item to rank. I'm more about getting people to buy once they see my item.
Greg was asking, how many SKUs do you feel like you're going to need to hit 80K a month in sales?
Well, right now, I've been leaning it out, but with like literally, I'm doing about 10K a month with 5 SKUs right now. Like I've sold more SKUs. I've sold like 30 SKUs, but like 25 of them I'm not going to reorder. And so like 5 SKUs are like 99% of my sales right now, and I'm doing 10K. So if you just multiply by 8, I think maybe 40 SKUs. And if I actually optimized them and made like nice listings and actually like put like, because some of my private label stuff I'm selling right now isn't technically private labeled yet. They don't have logos on it yet. So once I actually get logos on it and I actually do social media and all that stuff, I think about 40 SKUs.
Well, I'm not sure if it's me. Maybe you guys can chime in the chat room, but I'm hearing a clicking sound, like you keep cutting out. I don't know if there's something going on your end or not, but if you can, I don't know if you're aware of that, but if anybody else can confirm they're hearing that too. It's only when you're talking I hear it go like it's clipping out. All right, let me go down here and ask them what sorts of tools, tricks, hacks are sellers using to boost their keyword ranking to page 1 and launch, then hold that position. I guess you're going to say you don't fool with that stuff.
I like selling good products at a good price. That's my big hack.
Okay, so Jason, he just shot down your. See, most people are in here probably are familiar with ASM or Scott Volker or some other folks that have specific, and regimented type process that they go through. But like you say, it maybe takes too long.
Well, it takes too long, and when everyone does the same exact thing, it's like I'm zagging when everyone's zigging. And so everyone's doing the same exact thing, getting a bunch of reviews, selling a bunch of kitchen products, while I'm selling a drone landing pad and a custom wood beer tap and these weird obscure items, making money with no competition, while everyone's sitting there fighting over these weird listings, trying to piggyback on each other and trying to like compete with each other when there's all these uncompetitive niches still out there.
Terrence submitted this through the survey, and this is one of my questions was, what do you think about oversized products? I mean, all of these guys saying, I only get something that fits in the palm of your hand, it's lightweight, it's no moving parts, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, well, if that's the case and everybody's doing that, why not go get an oversized product? My first product is oversized, by the way.
My brother and I pretty much only sold oversized stuff. We sold a couple products that were like $2,000, and it came in like a 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot box. And it was pretty funny because we would we'd make a killing on them. Obviously, it's like a $2,000 product, but we'd make a killing on PPC because we'd be paying 5 cents a click. But it was funny because someone in LA would order it, and maybe they only had one in a fulfillment center in Maine. And I've looked it up. To 2-day ship one of these things costs around $2,000. And so every time someone ordered one on Amazon Prime, Amazon was getting totally screwed, and the customer was just loving it because it's like, wow, this oversized product. Everyone else I got a quote from, they want to charge me $1,000 shipping and charge me sales tax. Amazon's not charging me sales tax or shipping. I'm saving $500 buying this on Amazon. And so it's like, if you go under a pound, that's best case scenario because it ships as cheap as possible. But if you're going to go over pound, I say go big or go home and really try to take it to the next level.
Well, as a matter of fact, there's a company that sells a big gun safe. And you can get it by Amazon Prime, get it 2 days free shipping. It weighs like 700 pounds. And so, hey, do this, Will. Can you unplug your mic and plug it back in?
I'm doing that right now. 1 second.
Give it a test run.
How's it sound now?
Okay, I'm hearing some feedback from me. Did you change your settings? You got it on the speaker. I'm hearing some speakers, so I hear myself delayed. I wasn't doing that before.
Are you still hearing yourself, or you're good now?
Checking 1, 2. No, I'm still hearing myself.
Right. If I just talk through my
we'll try that.
Yeah, no, I'll just talk through my Mac microphone.
Well, I'm actually still hearing myself, but I wasn't doing that before. Here's what you can do: is go up to the top of the settings and check what your default is for the microphone. Do you see it? Okay, now that stopped mine. Are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Now that's 100% better. I don't know what we just did, but we fixed it.
All right, yeah.
We're geniuses.
With everything. Yeah, we're geniuses. We're
tech savvy. Ebook. We'll write an ebook on that one. Okay, so where are we at? Okay. So oversight, yeah, I was just saying that this company sells a gun safe, weighs like 700 pounds, but you can buy it on Prime and get it free shipping in 2 days. How much money you save? Like, I don't know, $1,500 in shipping.
Well, and too, once you ship over 13 pallets to Amazon, they make you pay for the entire truckload, which is 26 pallets. And so you can get 26 pallets, which is probably 26 safes, to Amazon for about like $2,000 for the whole truckload. And so they're only paying $100 of shipping per unit into Amazon. Then Amazon has to pretty much handle the shipping from there. So Amazon basically run to the cost.
Man, that is crazy. I don't know how they do that. Okay. Ruthie's asking, what's your system for inventory control, especially if items have been purchased but haven't been sent and to be fulfilled by Amazon? Well, I don't know if you can do that. You can't really do that.
Yeah, you can. We can do it because we have a merchant fulfilled listing and an Amazon fulfilled listing for every single one of them. And so, like, if you ever run out of stock, it still allows people to buy our stuff. And so the way my brother and I did it is different than what I'm doing it now, but the main way we did it with my brother is we did all of our inventory management just off the Amazon internal replenishment alerts. And so we just do a quick calculation of how many we usually sell per day and then multiply that by how many days it takes from us ordering to getting in stock at Amazon. And then that's kind of our safety stock level. So once we get down to that level, we need to order again. And so we set up the replenishment alerts to that level for each individual item.
So do you do any FBM now?
No, I try not to do any FBM ever. It's annoying, but it's just kind of as a backup plan because like there'd be random times where we would say we would be getting a new product in that we know we sell 15 a day, and they would say, yeah, it's gonna be there Monday, and it ends up being there Friday, and so then we have like 50 merchant fulfilled orders lined up because we were out of stock for those 5 days, And so when we get 1,000 items in, first thing we do is ship out those 50 immediately to UPS and then send the other 950 into Amazon.
And what's the lead time or the lag time if the people are waiting on their product from UPS? Have you estimated 3 to 5 days or whatever it is?
Yeah, sometimes we'll get like real sketchy where we used to, where we'd go and print off all the UPS labels before we get the product. So in Amazon's system, we could type in the tracking number, and Amazon would think that we'd ship the product, so we wouldn't get like a late shipment penalty. And then we would just ship it later. And if it was ever too late, if it was ever like over a week late, we would just email customers and say like, hey, we'll give you a refund and we'll send you the product. Like, just don't give us a bad review kind of thing. Because like the last thing you want to get your account suspended for late shipments on some bull crap like that.
So is that something that Amazon would come back and snag you on? Is it you didn't have a?
Yeah, if you have too many late shipments in a row, that's the thing about people who always say that like Amazon banned them and they don't know why, and I don't know what happened. Like all of a sudden my account was deleted and Amazon says I'm suspended. It's like, well, yeah, you probably had like 10 late shipments in a row, and Amazon's not going to warn you every time you have a late shipment, but they do a little check mark in the background that Amazon saying, oh, they messed up again, oh, they messed up again, and then eventually they go, okay, you messed up 10 times in the last 2 weeks, like, you're out of here, sorry, man. And then the people complain saying, Amazon didn't even warn me, what was I supposed to do? And it's like, well, if customers keep complaining, there's not much Amazon can do.
So basically what you're saying is it goes back to most people are not serious.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they try to think of this as something like a quick little hobby where it's like you're either all in or all out kind of thing, especially in the beginning. I can do it more as a quick little hobby now because I know my limits, but if you're just starting out, it's really hard to do it if you're not fully committed.
But aren't you skewing the issue a bit though, because most people have never run their own business. They've always worked they've been a job, JLB, and probably not, maybe some of them have been self-employed, but most people have never run their own business. I mean, you started selling at 12, you had a brother that was kind of mentoring. You could watch him, you could screw off for 6 years. You weren't even age a majority for 6 years while you were messing around with it. So would you say that there's a chance that a lot of these people can learn how to get serious, or what would you suggest? I mean, did you go to school for business or what?
Yeah, I majored in economics, but it doesn't really help me. No, it's a thing about actually pulling the trigger. It's a thing about where people have this fantasy. They want to own an online business. They want to be able to take the vacations they want. They want the extra $5,000 a month in revenue, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, but are you really serious about it? Are you ready to sit there and Google all the different tariff codes you're going to have to figure out exactly what customs you're going to have to pay when your product gets imported? Like, are you ready to do all the unsexy stuff that it takes to get your business going? Because when you watch a webinar from me, it's like, oh wow, this kid he sits there, he orders a bunch of stuff from AliExpress, he sends it into Amazon, and he just makes millions. It's that easy. And it's like, well, yeah, it's that easy. But then when you get into nitty gritty of like the mini hurdles you have to jump every single day, it can get exhausting for some people because there's constantly something where, hey, sorry, I printed your logo upside down on your product. Is that okay? It's like, well, no, it's not. Okay, so reprint it this way, do it that way. And it's all these little unsexy stories that no one ever tells. But it's at the same time, they happen every day. And it's just about letting stuff just kind of roll off your back and being like, okay, hey, and my brother, Andrew. Hey, Andrew, do you hear they printed the logos upside down? Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Well, they're reprinting them. They'll be here a week late, whatever. And it's like you got to have that attitude about everything because you can't get wrapped up in this stuff. You got to be ready to have a bunch of bumps and hurdles.
Well, as our soldiers said in Iraq, they said when somebody new showed up, they just got shipped in and weather sucks and this, you're sleeping in a sand dune and et cetera, and they're basically their motto was embrace the suck. It sucks. It sucks. You can't change it for sucking. So just embrace it. Just love the suck. It sucks. It's going to suck. Just accept it and then move on. And
yeah. Would
you say that are there any business books that you read that helped you build this mental toughness about business, about taking it serious, or did you learn that from your brother, or did you learn it from it? Where did you get that?
Yeah, I think I just learned it from just my grumpy brother who just like, and I'm the same way where it's like, I just literally take zero excuses from anyone. And so it's like, unless like, why didn't you sell more on Amazon today? Unless your answer is like, both my arms and legs got blown off, like, I don't care about your excuses. Like, it's like, okay, well.
So you're kind of like Donald Trump. You don't like people who get captured.
Well, no, but seriously, though, the thing is that it's like, okay, if you have, I sell these wood sunglasses. Okay.
Okay.
Wood. I can never sit there and complain about sales, because at any point I can get off my ass and go door to door and try to sell these to people for $15, and I probably could get one sale in like 3 hours of work, and that's one more sale I didn't have. And so anyone who ever sits there and like procrastinates and complains, says, "Oh, my business isn't going well," or "This isn't going well," or "How do I do this?" or "How do I do that?" It's like, just keep moving forward, keep doing one step at a time, and really take your business to the next level, kind of thing. You can't sit there and whine or hope that there's going to be this one software that's the trick, or there's going to be this one educational program that's going to be the trick to take your business to the next level. All you got to do is go out there and just work hard and keep ordering stuff, keep sitting there working on your business, and eventually it's going to grow, kind of thing. Go on.
So what do you think about a mentorship where, okay, I don't have any excuses, but I just want somebody that's 6 months or 2 years or 5 years ahead of me to share their experience, so when I read a book, for example, from a business, somebody that wrote a book about business, I get to download their brain in about 200 pages where I can glean all the stuff that they took them 20 years to learn. Why wouldn't I do that? How do you feel about surrounding yourself with other winners or people that are ahead of you to learn from them?
I think that's a great strategy. I do kind of consulting calls with some people where I do kind of pretty much do that, where I just check in and yell on people. Honestly, where I go, hey,
hold them accountable.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't you do this? Well, my dog got sick. Okay. Why didn't you do this? It's like, well, me and my girlfriend had to go on a picnic. It's like, okay, so really you have no excuses and you just didn't feel like doing it. And it's like, good luck trying to find someone nowadays who doesn't watch like 2 hours of TV a day. And if you just didn't watch those 2 hours of TV a day and instead you spent 2 hours sourcing on Amazon, you'd have a business within a year. But people don't want to sit there.
Come on, Will. I got to change the air in my spare tire. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
My goldfish has a sore tooth. My goldfish has a sore tooth.
No, I've heard it all. Honestly, I've heard it all. And some of them where it's like you can't tell if they're trying to convince you or themselves more that they were busy.
Right. Well, I was in a sales business where we were always recruiting people on a part-time basis. They keep their full-time job, so they had nothing to lose. They could work an extra 20 hours a week and make $1,000 a month and learn how to do the business, transition to a full-time income, and run and make a great income. But it just never ending, all the excuses we get on why they don't show up for training or why they didn't do what they're supposed to do. And we finally just started numbering them. So that's number 22. Next. That excuse is number 47. What else you got, man? Come on, excuse is an excuse. But I think there's only about 3%, maybe 5% of the population that will do what's necessary to actually win in business. And if you look at the average business, in the first 5 years, 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. They're not even there anymore. I bet it's even shorter than that now, with the internet, et cetera. So if you can just survive for 3 to 5 years and keep pushing forward, you got to learn something. You got to go through. There's 4 phases of learning. The first phase is you're an uninformed. Okay, I'll come back to it. There's I don't even remember what it is now. I forgot. There's 4 phases of learning, but the first one, you're incompetent and you don't even know what you don't know, and you quickly learn that you don't know what you don't know when you start doing something, because you immediately start screwing up. So then you become a conscious incompetent. You know that you don't know, and eventually you become a conscious competent, where you have to think about what you're doing, and as long as you keep doing it, you'll get it right. But eventually you master it and you become an unconscious competent, where you don't even have to think about it. I think that's where you're probably at, because you don't have to worry about BSRs and all that kind of stuff. Your unconscious incompetent days were back when you were 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, it comes down to, a lot of my product selection is a lot off like kind of like a gut feeling and a perceived value, where I just kind of look at something and go, wow, that looks expensive. And I look at AliExpress and it says $3.99, and it goes, oh, wow, I bet someone would pay more than that. It's like, how much more? It's like, I don't know. And so, and one more example with like these wood sunglasses. there were people selling them for $70 and there were people selling them for $20. And so I didn't really know what to price them at. Like we were talking about earlier with the growing sunglasses, why didn't I sell them for $39.99? And so what I did was threw them on Amazon with a bunch of, not on Amazon and eBay, with a bunch of different keywords and a bunch of different pictures being the main picture, and set them all at like a 1 cent auction lasting a week. And I did that for like 2 weeks until I figured out exactly what the price range people are willing to pay for it and which pictures draw the highest prices. And I was getting anything between $15 and $30 bidded up. And so I knew exactly kind of, okay, when I do these pictures, it gets the most money. So I'm going to do this for Amazon too.
Bam, people, you just got your money's worth right there. That is a great way to test a product, it sounds like to me.
Well, there's certain products where it's very obvious what the price is, but when you're selling sunglasses, some people pay $500 for a pair, some people buy them in a gas station. So it's really hard. It's all perceived value. So I had to test the market to see the price.
Okay, that's a good tip, man. That's worth the price of admission right there. Also, we had one of our survey questions asked, how do you build out a brand? How do you build out a brand past Amazon, or do you?
I've done it before. I did it with with my brother, I ran like 6 different e-commerce sites for like 6 different private label niches, and combined the websites, like the 6 websites did the first year like 50 grand in sales. And so it's like, that is not something I feel too comfortable giving a bunch of education on, because it's like, I'm not amazing at it myself. Like I could give you a bunch of generic internet marketing advice, but since I haven't done it myself, it's hard for me to actually like have full kind of what am I trying to say?
Well, I mean, Amazon is selling. Amazon is buying somewhere. I heard somewhere quote 8 million a month and a pay per click on Google. Why would you compete with that? They're already doing it. Their job is to drive traffic to Amazon. Your job is to drive traffic within Amazon. Would you say that's true?
It's more. I think the e-commerce site is more of a safety net in case for some reason your account gets canceled, or like I said, in 10, 15 years, I think Amazon's going to be selling majority of the stuff themselves. They're using us as a bunch of guinea pigs to see what sells the best without having to pay for the inventory themselves and still get a 20% margin on it. And so they're getting their money. They're getting their money off every single sale. They're sitting there keeping all the analytics to themselves to see exactly what sells and what doesn't. And they sit there and just contact all the suppliers themselves. It's fairly simple. And so it's like, I think eventually Amazon's going to sell everything themselves, and the only way you're going to be able to survive in e-commerce is if you own your own platform.
Or could you be the manufacturer at that point? Could you ever think you'd ever get big enough where you could just go and?
Yes, you'd have to get a pretty awesome private label brand if Amazon wants to start ordering it from you, because you'd have to be in your own niche. Because say if you're making Bluetooth speakers and you're competing against like Sony and like Bose, Amazon's going to go source Sony, they're going to go source Bose, and then they're going to bury yours in the very bottom, because they're only going to promote the ones that they sell themselves. So it's like, yeah, you could sell your own product eventually, even if Amazon's selling everything themselves, but they just won't give you any traction.
Well, you just got to be it'd have to be a product that you're not competing with major brands, that it's something like marijuana sunglasses. If they
exactly, there's definitely still opportunities there, and it's obviously all just kind of like assumptions and like random predictions. But for the most part, it's I'm just always kind of nervous that the Amazon doesn't have our best interest in heart. And so they care about themselves and the customers much more. And we're just kind of a pawn they're using to test the market and get a chance to fund other fulfillment centers throughout the country.
They're putting us on a meat claw process. They're meat clawing us to death. Sarah says, what is the best marketing tools to promote competitive product on Amazon? Not to compete with a highly competitive product?
Yeah. First off, don't get into a competitive product unless you have a competitive advantage. If you know something that no one else knows, or you can get it for a better price, or you can get a better quality than everyone else, then go into it. But if you're just going to sell the same product as everyone else, good luck. Like the meat claws. It's like, if you're going to go in there just selling the same meat claw, but you're going to have a better ebook that comes with it, it's like, it's going to be very difficult to compete. And so it's like, it's kind of thing where I would have just told you, just don't get into the competitive market in the first place. And if you are going to get into competitive market, have fun spending money on marketing.
Well, Sarah also asked, what I look for in pay-per-click data for keywords to keep the ones to pause or archive. How do I know when to pause a non-productive keyword, even if I think my product should rank for it, or do I just keep it even though it isn't converting?
Yeah, I'll keep it just as long as it's profitable. It's just all about making cash. And so if it's still if the product's still profitable after running ads, it's like, why not keep the ads running? It's just extra sales, extra money in your pocket. But I also run ads until they're not profitable anymore. And I always kind of have an idea in my head of exactly how much profit I'm making off each one of my products.
What do you think about running out of product? When you know you're going to run out, do you let it run out, or do you do like a lot of other people and jack your price up and try to slow it down?
Yeah, I jack the price up and try to slow it down.
Okay, so you are conventional in one sense, because most people do that. But I've had a fellow say, "No, wait a minute, you jack your price up, you start slowing your conversions down." And I don't know if that's true or not, but if you jack,
what's better than no conversions?
Yeah, but if you're but when you get your stock back in, if your conversion rate just didn't change, if your conversion rate but if at the end there, as you jack the price up, your conversion rate should start going down, because that's what you're trying to do, is keep people from buying it. Doesn't that affect your ranking? Wouldn't Amazon rather you see you just go ahead and sell out and then get more stock back in and pick up where you left off?
Well, it's one of these things where it's a case by case basis. With certain products, I'll increase the price, but like majority of my products too, if I know the inventory is on the way, I'll have a merchant fulfilled listing too, so they can continue to buy it when I'm out of stock.
But you're probably not going to do that with private label, though, do you? Because you don't want to be. I mean, that doesn't fit in with your model of automating everything unless you hire employees.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. But then I can, once I do get them in stock at Amazon, I can fulfill them after the fact. But for the most part, is that I just do a good job of managing my inventory. There's no way any of my products are private label that I'd let them be out of stock for like more than like 2 days before I get them back in stock. I'm pretty anal about it, where it's like once I get down to like 40 units left in stock, I better have my products coming that day, because I refuse to run out of stock. And so it's like, that never happens to me.
So how many units do you normally order? Give us a kind of an idea of, here's what I pay for a product. I'm going to order this many, and then I'm going to sell it for this many. And so if I order this many and I'm selling it by X amount a day, I know I've got 2 weeks or 1 month or 3 months lead time.
Okay. So with these bad boys, got them with a case, branded from China, $3.30 a unit. And I got 1,200 pairs. So it cost me about $3,800 with shipping. $3,800, 12 pairs. I'm selling them, I think right now, for $18.99. So $18.99 with shipping after everything, I think I make about $7 a pair.
Nice.
Okay? And so I'm making $7 a pair, and I sell about 20 pairs a day.
So that's 1,200 divided by 20 is 60 days?
Yes, 60 days.
So you need what's your lead time on getting them?
30 days.
So you need to reorder them at the end of your first month.
I didn't have to, because I didn't start selling 20 a day the very first day.
Oh, okay. So
I sold 1 the first day, 3 the second day, 5, and it took me 2 months to get up to 20 a day. But the second I got to 20 a day, I had 2 months of inventory left. Still, not 2 months of inventory, probably a month and a half of inventory left. But as soon as I had a month and a half inventory left, I ordered the product, even though it only had a month lead time, and I gave myself a 2-week buffer there.
And how many did you reorder?
Another 1,200, plus 1,200 of a different style and 1,200 of another style on top of that.
So you're adding variations.
Yeah, because it's like I ranked really quickly for it. It's selling really well. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm just going to keep selling more wooden sunglasses until I saturate the market. And so I'm just going to keep doing that and trying it out, kind of thing. And it's like, if I can sell 20 of these a day and I can sell 20 of my other 2 styles a day, I'm selling 60 sunglasses a day at whatever, say $20 a pair. Right there, I'm doing $1,200 a day in 3 items. And I need to get to $2,700 a day to do $1 million a year.
So $2,700, okay.
No, just get $2,700 a day, and it'd be $1,200 a day with 3 sunglasses.
All right. So if you didn't do the other 2 variations, do you think your 20 a day units would probably keep going up on that 1 pair, or is it leveling off?
I think it's gonna be semi-seasonal.
Okay.
I think it's about to start getting slower, and then it's once Christmas hits, it's gonna get hot again, and then everyone's gonna go on spring break, and it's gonna be great, and then it's gonna continue that momentum through the summer, and then as the summer ends, it's probably the slow months are gonna be September, October, November, until people start going on vacation again.
But then you've got your marijuana sunglasses that probably sell more in the wintertime because people are indoors checking out their marijuana.
Yeah, but those I sell like 60 of those a month. Those aren't like a super hot seller, but at the same time, it's like, why not make an extra $500 a month if you can?
Do you have a lot of repeat customers because they're always getting high and losing their sunglasses?
No, I haven't, honestly. I have yet to. I started selling these at $9.99 with a branded case because that was like my break-even price, and I just wanted to get some sales in the beginning. And one person bought 50 pairs from me and then tried to compete against me in the buy box.
What did you do to him?
I just let them do it. I don't care. I increased our price. I let them get the next 50 sales, whatever, if you're going to keep buying them from me. And I just increased my price to $18.99. So he sold out his 50 pairs. He can't reorder from me again. And it's like, I just missed out on sales for like a couple days. It's no big deal.
So
he's selling my own stuff.
After you raised your price, he can't buy them cheaper from you. And
yeah, exactly. So
it's out of the market.
Exactly. So he just liquidates them at break-even price, and then it's back to normal.
Okay. James is asking, how much do you spend on advertising on your Amazon business?
I think I checked. Lately, I haven't been advertising as much because, like I was saying, if I compete for a bid for a keyword, I just don't do it. And so I think the last week I spent like $35.
Okay. And let's see. Wayne is asking the best way to pick products. Is there a best way?
There's no silver bullet.
Right, but if you wake up today and say, I ain't got anything to do, I think I'm going to see if I can find a new product. I'm just in that mood. What would you do? Would you go look on Amazon? Would you go look on infomercials? Would you go search? I mean.
Yeah, I would. If I was really set on it, I like doing it kind of naturally. And kind of just doing it, it just happens where it's like, okay, I'll go to Target and walk around through the trinkets and see what has a really big price tag for no reason. And I'll see this random bowl that's made out of wood that is going for $55. And then I'll sit there and put Amazon in my phone, wood bowls, and I'll see they're going for $30 on Amazon. And then I'll do it on AliExpress and see they're going for $2 and go, oh, well, that's a decent product. $2 for 30? Okay, might as well try it. Order 10. Okay, on to the next one. And I'll just do that a million times because it's like, at this point, I don't mind losing a couple $100. I give two craps about that. So it's like, I'm totally willing to sacrifice a bunch of losers to find a few winners.
Anthony was asking how to get rid of unwanted resellers on my listing. You just heard what he said. Let them do it. Or I guess it just depends.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of reseller, because some people are buying it from you wholesale, like legitly. The best thing to do is, just not sell to them anymore. That makes sense.
But if they're on his listing, that means they've got the product somehow. He's either not branded. What about brand registry? Do you believe in that?
Somewhat, but I don't really mess around with it too much. It helps. Brand registry is always a good thing, but for the same time too, like I was saying, I always kind of fly under the radar with these like niches within niches, and so I don't really deal with too much competition. I'm not selling the meat clause and worrying about that kind of crap.
All right, Wayne's asking, distinguish MAM from building a business. MAM, by the way, is MAMM, make Amazon the most money. That was coined by James Amazio. He's like, that's what you have to think about. If you can make Amazon the most money, they like you the most, they give you the best ranking, that's what you're doing. You're selling a higher quality item, and therefore Amazon likes you. You have good customer service, make everything you do. So distinguish doing that from building a business.
I don't think that they're different from each other. You can make Amazon money and you can build your business at the same time. Business is a really loose term. It's like business, maybe just if you file an LLC, then you technically own a business. Some people think it's a business once you start hiring in employees. Some people think it's a business as soon as you start making money type of thing. And so it's like everyone's definition of like, I'm a business owner. It's like, I don't know what that really means kind of thing. Okay. It's hard to give a real definition.
Well, so for a follow-up question, maybe he's talking about you making the most money, because you said my goal is to make the most profit that I can. I'm not interested in the high sales. I want to get to $1 million a year and then stop it.
Yeah,
so
that's just something that I learned from when my brother and I were doing it, where like, yeah, you can grow forever, but then you never get a fat paycheck.
Because you're reinvesting your money to build your sales. You got to buy more inventory to get more sales.
Exactly.
Sooner or later, you got to get even.
Exactly. So that's why I was saying about the $10 million mark, where it's like that's the point where most everyone should just stop and start increasing the profits instead of trying to increase the revenue, because at that point you're wasting your time trying to increase the revenue unless you can find some really big fish. And so that's why I was saying too that I'm going to stop absolutely at the $1 million revenue mark and then only focus on getting myself the most money in my pocket, because I'm going to quit feeding the Amazon beast at that point and start feeding myself.
Ron's asking, what's your typical work week schedule like? Do you have one?
Typical work week schedule. I wake
up.
Do
you work 24? You work 16 hours a day? Do you have a lot of free time?
No, I work like this is the most work I'm doing today.
You're like lazy.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't say lazy. I would say
you like to have the option to be.
Well, yeah. No, I've been learning how to code these last few weeks.
Oh, really? So what are you going to do with that?
Well, once Amazon kind of fizzles out and not around in 20 years anymore like it is now, I'll have other skills too. And then I'll be the coding expert. But the thing right now is that like my normal schedule, I wake up really early. I wake up at like 5 a.m. naturally. And so I wake up at 5 a.m. I answer my emails from my suppliers. I make sure my Amazon business doesn't blow up. And then I'm usually done answering emails and checking my inventory and checking everything by like 6:30 a.m. And then I pretty much just have the day to myself.
Dang, that's nice. Sweet. All right, Florence is asking, what is one big lesson you learned from never to do?
Never do a bunch of marketing and promotion before you've proved the product.
So how do you prove the product? Back to selling it.
Like go and sell a similar product, or go and test the niche, go and sell samples of it, go do anything. Test the market and make sure the product sells before you start building out a brand and start building out all the advertising, because I've seen it too many times where people spend 3 months building out a brand and building out a logo and all this stuff, and then it doesn't sell. So it's like start selling first and start worrying about branding and marketing after the fact.
Do you feel like that there's a chance that you could be bumped out, and then like if somebody says, okay, I'm not going to build a brand, I'm just going to start selling it. I start selling it, and then I attract all these other competitors, or as the other competitors are naturally going to gravitate to that product eventually. So does it matter?
No, yeah, I could list about 20 products that I sell that you would ask me, what is that type of thing. And so it's like
I saw the coolest product at Home Depot tonight. It's called a laundry guard. It's just a piece of plastic with a magnet on it, and you literally place it on the top of your washer dryer, and it just keeps the clothes from falling off the back. So it's just like a fence, and it's dead simple. But they're selling it for $30. Now they are selling it on Amazon, but there's no other seller, so I'm wondering if it's patented.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like patented to a extent. They might be able to patent the manufacturing process, or they might be able to patent like a specific hinge it uses, but they can't patent just the idea in general of like not letting your laundry fall off your dryer. That's just impossible kind of thing.
So if you can send one to China then to a manufacturer to make something similar, and so instead of putting the magnets on the bottom, put the magnets on the side and make me some of these.
Well, exactly.
You find it on AliExpress or Alibaba. It wasn't out there.
Well, yeah, and you look it up. You look up what they're specifically patented, and you hope that they patented like the manufacturing process, because then it's
I don't know if they have patented, because it didn't have patent or patent pending on the box anywhere. And in fact, it didn't even have instructions in the box.
Well, yeah, then go after it. Might as well. And it's for the thing too, as long as you don't spend too much money going after it, like worst case scenario, you get a cease and desist letter, you sit there, you get all your inventory back, you throw it away, and you lost a couple $100. Who cares?
Or you give it away for Christmas presents.
Yeah. Oh, even better.
Wayne says, how do you deal with quality control of manufacturing?
I don't really deal with it too much. I usually slowly, because it's like, there's two different kind of ordering. There's the AliExpress ordering, where like the quality control is a quick quality control that I have like my box stacker do, that's located here, whereas I get my products sent to him, he sends them into Amazon for me, and he will do a quick quality control, and then it's a different kind of quality control when I actually try to private label it from Alibaba, because
That's what
then
I think
I'll
you're
actually
talking about.
yeah, then I want to get the actual sample. I'll play with it. I'll make sure it's got a good weight to it. I'll make sure it's nice. I'll make sure it's quality, and that's about it. There's not too much more you can do. It's not like you sit there and play with it for a whole month, test it out. I don't have time for that.
I know. How many different manufacturers would you get samples from before you chose the best one?
Oh, I have no qualms picking the first one if it's legit and the price is good.
And do you ever ask the manufacturer, hey, what can you do to make this a higher quality? Because a lot of times they're trying to pitch you the cheapest version they have, and they could give you sunglasses that have wood instead of plastic and make it a lot quality, but it might cost you an extra 25 cents an item. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I haven't had too much experience with that, where they're trying to sell me like they have a slightly better version, but they keep selling me the lower quality one. I haven't had too much with that. It's I usually just will go around by price.
But you haven't been asking either, have you?
No, I've never been asked either. But so I could be easily.
No, man, you haven't been asking.
Oh no, I haven't been asking. Yeah, so I could totally be missing out. I could have made $20 million if I would have.
Yeah, you might start asking that. So that's my hardball question. How come you haven't been asking, man? You're dropping the ball.
Well, the thing is though, is that one thing I don't like to do that I see people do all the time is sit there and annoy the suppliers. They'll sit there and they'll go, all right, the sample's gonna be $50 shipping, and they'll email back the supplier and say, well, I'll do it for $30 shipping. And it's like, this supplier already doesn't like you. You're sitting there bugging them over $20. They probably sell 1 million of these units a year total. And you're sitting there annoying them over $20 of one sample. It's like, you must not be a very big company if you're sitting there worrying about $20. And so it's the kind of thing where I never sit there and bug the supplier very much. And I never sit there and go, all right, so you sent me a sample, but send me the real good stuff. I don't trust this. It's usually I'll sit there and I'll get multiple samples from the same supplier too. And so it's like I can test it a little bit. But I don't sit there and like distrust them from the beginning, because it kind of builds a really weird relationship off the bat.
I don't necessarily mean that, but like if you were doing the pool rake, has a plastic handle, and maybe if it was made of metal, it would be a lot more durable, a lot more quality. It might only cost you a little bit more. It might probably wouldn't hurt to ask if they have other types of materials.
I've done that before. Yeah. I've done it before where I go, hey, does this come in any other material kind of thing? But I've never done the thing where it said like,
that's
hey,
what I'm talking about.
This. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like they make things in like the same product in different variations of quality, and you just have to ask to get the best quality.
No. Okay, so you passed the test on that one after all.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant like you were gonna order like an iPhone case, and you're like, no, give me the one with the extra thick rubber. Don't give me that thin one kind of thing. And it's like, oh, he said the secret password. Give him the good one.
Wayne says, how do you keep the same listing but a different product? I think he's referring to when you said you throw it up there, and then when you private label it, you change the list, you change the name and whatever.
You can edit the pictures at any time. I think the only thing you can't edit is the UPC after you create a listing. And so you can edit the pictures. And so since while I'm creating the Alibaba product, I'm just flipping AliExpress items quickly, and I'm only ordering maybe 30, 20 at a time. So I just wait till my AliExpress items are about to run out of stock, and then I send in my new private label version. And while the private label version's on its way and the Alibaba is just out of stock, then I change the pictures and change the title slightly so it reflects my new private label product. So then when anyone orders that, they get my private label version. They don't get the AliExpress crappy version.
Okay, when you I had a question there for myself, and I can't remember what it is. Let's see. I think we already answered this question. Do you sell heavy or large products, and what about expensive shipping? We've already talked about that one. So somebody's asking what happens after 1 million a year. Well, you just put it on an automatic pilot, and life is good.
Then I focus on really leaning it out and only adding SKUs that are like high ticket, so I can get rid of other SKUs. Because then it's like once I get to $1 million, I'm gonna only focus on increasing profit and not increasing revenue.
Well, you explain the term leaning it out. I know what it means, but there's a lot of people who may not know what you mean by that.
Like just kind of what it says, like leaning it out, like fat. Yeah, I was about to say cutting all the fat, getting rid of anytime you're spending money extra, or like, hey, we usually do ship it this way, but do you want to try shipping it this way? It saves $100 per shipment. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do this. Oh, this software we don't actually use ever. Okay, that's $60 a month. Let's get rid of that too. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like we really can get it down to where like I only use the bare essentials to run my business, and it runs like a well-oiled machine.
Okay, after my brain fart, it just came back to me. Do you have your manufacturers, once you get your private label done, do you have them go ahead and print the FNSKU, the label, and do all that stuff, the package? Or how much do you?
Not the first time. If I order, after I've ordered it from them a couple times, I'll start trusting them more and more with that kind of stuff. But in the beginning, since I will often sell, like say something like this, under 5 different listings and 5 different UPCs to see which keywords are the best. And so I'll do something like that. And so
well, wait a minute. You didn't tell us this before. That's a top secret MO. You sell 5 different listings with 5 different UPCs with different keywords to test it out? Is that what
it's not like a long-term strategy usually, because usually like one outperforms all the rest for sure. But it's kind of thing where it's just, like I'm always testing. I always don't know it works. I always assume I'm just an idiot and I have no idea. And so I'll sit there and sell these under fake wood sunglasses, fake bamboo sunglasses, wood sunglasses.
Authentic wood sunglasses.
Exactly. And I'll sell it under 5 different listings, throw 5 different UPCs out there, change the pictures up slightly, sit back, throw automatic ad targeting in all of them, sit back, wait 2 weeks. Some will sell, some won't sell. And then the ones do sell, double down on those ones. And the ones that don't sell, liquidate that listing and delete that listing.
All right. So if you get 10 products off of AliExpress, how many of them do you do that method with?
It's a case-by-case study. Sometimes if I'm selling something, like if I'm selling a computer mouse, it's like there's no other name I'm going to sell it under. I'm just going to sell it as a computer mouse.
Oh, okay. So it's about how many different keywords it could be searched for versus.
Exactly.
Okay.
The reason I learned it is because my brother and I sold a bunch of industrial stuff, and a contractor would call this part something different from a homeowner.
Exactly.
A manufacturer would call it something. And so it's like we need to target all 3 of those.
Well, that's sometimes my problem with searching on Alibaba. Is I don't know what to call it. I'll call it what I think it is, like a laundry guard, and it might be called a clothing retention fence.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you discover the keywords that you need up front to even test on if there's a wealth of different words? Where do you get your keyword research?
I don't do very much keyword research. That's why I kind of use Amazon to be my research for me. But if I ever do any keyword research, I usually just use like the kind of Google Analytics tool and just kind of try to see a general gist of what people are searching and what they aren't, and kind of look at the volume of the different keywords that through Amazon ads. But besides that, it's like, the reason why I'm putting it under multiple different listings is because I don't know and I want to see.
What about merchant words? Have you ever use them? You think like other tools?
Well, does he really have the only exclusive access to Amazon search information and no one else has it? I feel like that's really hard to believe.
Does he say that?
Then that's what he's doing though, right? Is that he's telling you the search volume. And so I don't know really how he's doing it, because if it's not exactly from Amazon's like mouth, then I don't believe his analytics. And if I don't believe his analytics, then it's hard to base business decisions off it.
What makes you believe Google then?
Why do I believe Google? Because it's straight from Google's mouth. And so it's like that. It's the best you can do. If Amazon specifically had a place where you could search on their website what the keyword results are, I would trust it a little bit more. But when third-party software say they can present this information that Amazon themselves say they would never give out, it's like, I don't know where you're getting this information from then.
All right, LW has a related question. Wouldn't you just need one listing if you include enough keywords in the title and the bullets and description? Isn't multiple listings overkill?
It may be. That's why I test it. Because if one sells and the other ones don't, then I'll delete out those other listings because I know those weren't the right keywords, and then I'll eventually combine those into that listing, kind of in the description or something like that. But it's hard for me to.
I think what LW is saying is, why do you have 5 different listings? Why don't you just put all those different keywords in one listing? I think the reason is because a keyword in a title description is different than a keyword in a bullet point or a keyword in the description area, and they don't hold as much weight in those other areas. So you would need to have a control, which is all of the keywords that you're using are in the title and you're using a slightly different image, and then you've got apples to apples.
Yeah, no, yeah? You're 100% correct. And two, it's like kind of thing where you search these different keywords and there's only 3 products on each listing page. And so you're like, well, if I just throw up any product with that name, it's going to be on the first page. So I might as well throw something on there just in case someone ever searches it.
And then Sean is asking, why do you think people fall in love with their product, business, etc., and not see each item, category of business, and not look at it as personal?
Because people watch too many movies and they get all excited about like the idea of like a passion project business, and they hear these stories about like, oh, the stay-at-home mom made this business in her garage and she started from nothing and now she's making $10 million a year, and also she helps out all these charities in the meantime with her company and blah blah blah. And these people sit there and they go, wow, I would love it if I got to help charities and I got to make millions and I got to run my own business. That'd be great. Well, I just need to find a product I'm passionate about first, and then that's the first step moving forward. And it's like, that's the exact opposite of what I preach against. It's like, okay, well, don't go after your passion, because just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean
you get blinded.
Yeah, well, then you're going to be blinded and you're going to make bad business decisions. I literally think of all my products as I'm just selling a bunch of different boxes of rocks, and it just, some rocks sell for more, some rocks sell faster. I can care less about it. And if one type of rock sells well, I'll keep selling that type. If one type of rock starts selling better, I'll start selling that one. And I give 2 craps about like, oh no, but this is the one that like I found myself like late at night and I really got attached to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really weird kind of situation.
Dana is asking, do you write an NDA with your manufacturer, non-disclosure agreement with your manufacturer, when you create a new private label product?
No, I don't. It's kind of thing where
takes too long.
If you do $1 million in sales on one product, everyone's going to copy you regardless what kind of brand registry you have, regardless what kind of NDA you have, regardless what kind of patent you have. People sit there and sell on AliExpress and Alibaba like fake Nike shoes. It's like, I'm pretty sure Nike has some pretty awesome lawyers, and Alibaba is still selling fake Nike shoes. So if Nike is getting counterfeited and they have counterfeit iPhones, you're going to get counterfeited if you sell too much product. And so that's why I like flying low under the radar instead of trying to find these sexy niches and trying to dominate these big, powerful niches, because then you're just opening yourself up for competition.
Did you have to get ungated in industrial?
No, I didn't have to get, me and my brother didn't have to get ungated in anything, because back in the day you could sell whatever you wanted.
So you got grandfathered in?
Yeah, but I had to get ungated to sell my sunglasses.
Oh, you did? Was that fashion or what?
Sunglasses and eyewear accessories or something.
Okay. Wayne says, how can a little guy get started? What is the minimum amount of cash? How much cash did you start with when you started over?
Well, that's what I was saying. I started with $70.
Really?
Well, I was saying, my first order was the marijuana growing sunglasses for $70, and I got 20 pairs.
But you didn't have like some cash sitting aside that you could buy?
Oh no, I had cash, but I just didn't want to spend it because I just didn't.
I agree with that. Did you have a little bit of bankroll though? You had a grub stake.
Oh yeah, I had I'm trying to think of what I had a few months ago, like probably like 25K in the bank, but like I wasn't willing to spend more than like 2K of it. Like right now I've spent total in the last like 3 months, I've probably spent like 5K in inventory.
Okay. Michael's asking, if you have the capital, what are your thoughts about ordering a 20-foot container filled with a couple dozen units of several SKUs from the supplier, then see what sells and readjust the next order to better selling items? That's kind of what you guys were doing with wholesale.
Yeah, exactly. That's best case scenario. The reason why you want to find, it's better to find a good supplier than to find a good product always, but it's a little bit harder because if you find a good supplier who sells a bunch of products that are good, then you can fill up a 20-foot container a lot quicker. And so with like the 1,800 sunglasses I just ordered, of these, the shipping was something like, I think like $1,600, where a 20-foot container I know cost me like $2,500 to get it shipped to me. And
but so then you have like 10,000 pairs, right?
Well, yeah, no, but the thing is though, is that since the price is only $900 more, there's no rule saying I have to fill up the container. I can fill up the container 15% and still be paying half as much in shipping on the same amount of sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no. Because it's once you hit that $2,500 mark, it's basically every other pair of sunglasses after that shipping's free.
Okay. Do you trademark any of your brands to prevent hijackers?
Nope.
No. Yeah, I can almost start answering your questions for you now.
They're all no nonsense answers where is it making you cash? Do it. If it's not making you cash, don't do it.
Kathy says, I have a monopoly on a great product right now. What should I do to protect the listing? Bundle it with something, use brand registry, etc. Monopoly meaning no one else is selling this type of item at all. Well, then you don't have to worry about it, I don't think.
Yeah, but eventually you will. Brand registry is a good one. Yeah, trying to bundle it is a good thing. Putting your logo on the product is a great thing that keeps a lot of people off. Like 99% of people don't want to go to their way of like branding a product that's not theirs. That just sounds like a pain in the butt. And if you can do all those things, you'll be fine. And then as people throughout time start to piggyback on your product and start trying to sell on your listing, you're just going to have to order their product every time and take pictures of it and then send it into Amazon saying that you order their product and they're selling a counterfeit version of your product. You're going to have to use the words counterfeit.
That's a trigger right there, boy. They respond like lightning.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you say someone else is selling on my listing, Amazon goes, oh, but you're a third-party seller. I don't care about you. But if you say someone's selling a counterfeit thing, now you're stepping on the customer's toes, and Amazon protects its customers.
Would you say that it's easier to have a really nice package made and then photograph your item with the package, the box sitting behind it, so that would be almost impossible for them at that point to duplicate the listing?
Yeah, I think that would be probably best case scenario. There's a bunch of little tricks you can do with stuff, but for the most part, the best defense is have a branded product and just to report people as they try to sell your product.
Gurr is asking, how many stores do you sell through?
Stores? Like, what do you mean? Like actual brick and mortar stores? Because it's zero.
Zero. Because remember, Gurr, he started over. He divorced his brother. By the way, did your brother enjoy that, or is he looking like, oh crap, I've lost my workhorse?
Well, I left him a pretty nice business. So he's not too upset about that. But thing is that he just bought a big old house. He has a kid on the way. He already has a kid. He's pretty set to kind of hang out in the warehouse the rest of his life and to kind of chill out and just live like the kind of American dream, white picket fence, where I want to travel around and go do a bunch of stuff and try everything.
Well, you're not married yet, right?
Yeah, I don't have a girlfriend or anything.
Okay, hey ladies, he's available. He's available, ladies.
But yeah, so it's just I have a totally different view on life than my brother does, and it's not like we conflicted at all. It's just that like, hey, you want to hang out here? I don't. You have the business. I know I can do this over again.
Gur's asking, all of your 700 SKUs FBA, you don't have 1,700 SKUs. Is that what you did have with your brother?
Yeah, me and my brother had 1,700 SKUs in stock at Amazon. We had over $1 million in stock at Amazon.
Okay, and is your only platform Amazon? I think you said that. Do you do Shopify?
My brother and I had there was like 6 or 7 e-commerce sites that were Shopify, but they all suck. I sell on eBay some too, but I've been kind of weaning myself off eBay because it's too much hassle. There's not enough profit, and eBay is weird about like they kick people off all the time too, and so it's kind of thing where I just like double down on Amazon because I don't really trust eBay.
All right, and Gurr asks again, are you going to create and sell your own Amazon seller system like others have?
No, it's kind of thing where
it can't sell gut instinct.
Well, you can't sell gut instinct. You can't sell being grumpy and hating everything. No, I don't know. It's kind of thing where first off, it's like I don't think for the most part Amazon's not really like a one route fits all type of thing. Because some people have $2,000, some people have $200,000, some people have a lot of business experience, some people have no business experience, some people have no kids, some people have 5 kids they're trying to put through college, and so
some people have common sense and some people don't.
Exactly, and it's like there's about 50 questions I like to ask people before I even start trying to give them any Amazon advice, and so
really, what are some of those?
Well, like those kind of questions where it's like, how much money you're willing to risk, when are you trying to retire? What do you have a full-time job? All these kind of things, because it's like these all make a difference. And
are you willing to lose it?
Well, exactly. And it's like if I wrote a course, I was thinking about this the other day. If I did a course or like an ebook, it would turn into like a choose your own adventure book, where you'd go, if you have kids, go to page 24. Yeah, if you don't have kids, go to page 20. Okay, I don't have kids. Okay, spend all the money you can on inventory. Like
Yeah, live, feed your business, starve your personal life.
Yeah, exactly. Eat ramen, buy more from AliExpress.
Jay says, what process or tools do you use to find good products with less competition and high demands? None.
Yeah, sorry.
You
No
use
real.
you use Amazon, right? And Alibaba.
Yeah, I use Amazon. I do the 2 monitor setup, 1 monitor AliExpress, 1 monitor Amazon, and I just copy and paste, just continually do that. There's actually I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Chrome plugin now that you can get that it has one search box, and anytime you search something, it searches on Alibaba and Amazon automatically for you.
All right, Brain Trust. You guys out there know what somebody out there probably knows what that is. Put it in the chat room for us and remind us. Wayne says, have you ever got banned? Do you have multiple seller accounts?
Well, kind of multiple. I would say I'm not with my brother anymore, so I don't have multiple seller accounts. I just have my own seller account, and I've never been banned.
Have you ever thought about going on using your brother's account to test some of your stuff so you don't have to fool with your account? Since it's
no, that just sounds like a headache accounting wise.
Okay. No, I don't mean no. I don't mean to make money. I'm just like you just put your 5 different listings up there and test them without putting it on your account, and then once you figure it out, you put the right listing on yours, and it's like he don't care. He's got 1,700 SKUs.
Oh no, yeah, no, I don't.
That's a good idea.
No, it's not a terrible idea, honestly, but it's no, I do ask my brother questions because with my brother and I's account too, we would get priority access to everything early. And so they'd be like, hey, we're going to launch Amazon Mexico in 4 months. Do you want to get your products in there now so you can be launched the first day? And so it's like I still talk to my brother all day, every day about Amazon because we both have different points of views, which is nice. And 2, that we always kind of have our finger on the pulse, knowing exactly what's going on in Amazon.
So did you guys sell in different markets besides the .com?
Yeah, but they suck. We threw almost 1,000 SKUs down in like a couple of each down in Mexico, and I don't think we sold one item yet.
What about Canada?
Canada still kind of stinks because it's something like 99% of people who live in Canada live within 100 miles of the border. And majority of Canadians I keep hearing will order stuff from Amazon US in bulk and then drive down and pick it up from a PO box in the US and then drive back into the US. Because like we literally, because of the crazy taxes and customs and stuff they charge in Canada, we have to charge twice what we charge on Amazon to break even on Canada.
Okay, that reminds me. You talked about figuring out customs and which code does your tariff fit in, whatever. Have you been able to isolate certain things like, okay, if I classify it as this, I'm going to actually save money because they don't charge an excise tax on it, and it's like calling a light bulb a heating element. They're both the same thing, but you call one and one the other different.
I haven't ordered recently too big of orders where it's been like worth my time to kind of fudge with the tariff codes to save any money. But I usually more look up tariff codes to look for hurdles down the road. And so like I looked up this tariff code for sunglasses, and that's when I realized that I needed to get FDA certification before I could sell sunglasses.
Here's Lady K. Lady K is save the days. It's amababasearch.com. Is that right?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. What is the strangest product you sell besides marijuana sunglasses? Because that's pretty strange.
Like
what is the strangest you ever sold?
A knee scooter.
What? A knee scooter?
Yeah, when someone like injures their foot.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. People walking around with those.
Yeah, so that's kind of goofy. 3D filament for 3D printing, the plastic for 3D printing.
Wow, you talking about it's like filament, like it looks like weed eater.
Yeah, like weed whacker.
Yeah.
And UFC gloves and UFC training equipment.
Oh wow, okay.
So I've sold all sorts of. I've sold I used to sell like marijuana vaporizer pens on Amazon, but when I was in college.
And do you have a warehouse?
I don't have a warehouse right now. But my brother and I did have one. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, of the 1,700 SKUs that you guys were selling together, how many of them were made in the USA?
Maybe 500. I don't know, honestly.
So how you felt? How do you deal? I mean, what do you think about dealing with U.S. manufacturers? Everybody always says, "Oh, it's too hard. They're not interested. They're too high. They're lazy. They don't get back with you." You agree with that?
I do somewhat agree with that. It's honestly, it's about giving them like the business on the phone and just chirping their ear off and telling them, hey, here's the deal. You're going to have to sell on Amazon sooner or later. You better sell with me because this is what happens. Everyone's going to start buying your product, and they're going to start a race to the bottom. And all of your wholesale accounts and all your brick and mortar accounts are going to start complaining to you because everyone's selling on Amazon at such a low price. And that's going to happen whether you like it or not. And so this is the deal. You team up with us. I'm the Amazon expert. Google Amazon expert. My name comes up. I'm the Amazon expert. You want to do business with me, I'll keep your price high, and I'll preserve your wholesale and brick and mortar accounts, and I'll pay you in cash every single time immediately.
You'll deal with one. You'll deal with one vendor instead of 50.
You'll deal with one vendor instead of 50. I have unlimited cash, so I can order unlimited amounts. I will pay you in cash always. I will never bug you unless I'm trying to reorder, and you will never have to worry about me undercutting the wholesale prices and the brick and mortar prices. I'll keep prices high forever. And as long as you don't sell to any other people who sell on Amazon, I can keep your price high. But the second you don't, it's gonna be a race to the bottom, and that's your fault.
And what keeps them from trying to say, hey, they're going to just outdo you? They see what you're doing, like, oh, crap, why are we giving this guy this business? Have you had anybody try to do that?
No, because no one wants to do that. No one wants to go, well, why don't I just hire 5 people and figure out how to do it myself? And it's like, all right, yeah, go do that then. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, 5 people paying salaries. You mentioned you dislike listing some categories. What are your favorite categories?
I don't really have any favorite categories besides just staying away from pet, kitchen, grilling, and exercise stuff.
Okay, but you just said you sell UFC stuff. That's exercise stuff.
Okay, that's kind of goofy exercise stuff. That's a niche within a niche. I'm talking exercise stuff like yoga mats and like resistant bands and stuff that everyone sells. I'm not talking like 4-ounce MMA gloves. It's like that's kind of a very specific niche.
Okay. So what is your strategy for the upcoming holiday 2015, and is it different than 2014?
No, just make sure I got a bunch of inventory in stock.
How much more inventory do you overstock for the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I probably will. It's the kind of thing where I know my product's going to sell eventually because I'm not like testing things as much anymore. So like the stuff that I know sells, I'm going to totally overcompensate, probably have 5 times as much inventory as I need to, just because worst case scenario is I have to pay, since the sunglasses take up no room, worst case scenario is I pay a small storage fee and my products don't sell immediately, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Would you, are you tempted to do some wholesale stuff during Christmas just because you can make a fast buck on it?
No, I've never tried retail arbitrage or any of that kind of stuff.
No, not retail arbitrage, but doing what you and your brother's doing, where you could go to a wholesaler and just go ahead and rack up and overstock it and sell it through fourth quarter just to squeeze out the profit.
I'm not to sound like cocky or anything, but like I'm not at the point anymore where like I'm just trying to make a quick buck. Like I don't care about just like if I could go find a wholesale account and just put a quick like $1,000 in my pocket or something like that, I don't really care about that. I care more about like something that's sustainable and repeatable. And so I'd way rather find like something that I can keep going back to the well and where I don't have to do any work, because like I said, I literally don't do any work like most days. And so it's like as soon as I have to start contacting wholesalers, I'm doing work right now. And so it's like I'd rather do stuff that's passive.
So, are you familiar with the Millionaire Fastlane, the guy that wrote the book?
Yeah.
He talks about it's got to be repeatable, it's got to be or scalable, it's got to be. There's 3 things that he looks at that it has to do, and if they have those things, then it's a real business. Otherwise, you're working for your self-employed. By the way, do you read business books?
Yeah, I read a ton.
Okay. What's a business book that you think that made an impact on you that you could recommend?
Well, basically, I read it when I was like 19, I think, but like 4-Hour Workweek changed my life.
Bam. Okay, love it. What about The E-Myth by Michael Gerber?
Sorry, what was the title of the book?
The E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
No, never read it.
That's a pretty impactful.
I read mostly. Try to read any business book that's like not e-commerce related or not Amazon related, and try to.
Well, E-Myth is. E-Myth has nothing to do with it. E-Myth is about the entrepreneurial myth, where most people they go to work for themselves as an entrepreneur, but most entrepreneurs can't duplicate themselves through other people, and they wind up getting to a level where they choke themselves. He talks about how to e-myth your business, where you actually systematize it so that if you ever did hire somebody, you can totally have a system in place. His test is, okay, let's say you're the owner of McDonald's. You took it over tomorrow, and you wanted to go visit every single store that you own. There's 25,000 stores. It would take you the rest of your life if you saw 5 stores a day. So you can't do that. You'd have to have a system that will manage a bunch of teenagers, and the thing operates like a fine-tuned ship. And that's what E-Myth is all about. Anyway, that's
I just wrote it down. I'll probably finish it this week.
Michael Gerber is the author. How do you private label Makita or Black & Decker power tool? You don't, right?
Yeah, no. That was a slightly bad example because those are too big of brand names.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you could wholesale them though.
You could wholesale them, and then you could go try to find the best power drill you can on Alibaba. But again, you get into power tools and power stuff. I don't like that.
Okay, I have a feeling I know the answer to this one. Stacy asked, do you use any review group in launching a new product? Do you see value in paid review service?
No, I don't. I'm pretty against giving away like 100 items to get some reviews. It kind of gives you false hope that like your product's selling more than it actually is, and two, Amazon's been cracking down on fake reviews. Yeah. And so it's like, it would just suck if you gave away 500 items to get 500 reviews, and then you check the next day and you have 0 reviews and you have no inventory.
Oh, by the way, Jimmy says, best pitch to a manufacturer I've ever heard. Whoa, that was your pitch about you need to do business with just me. Gur asked, how much does it cost for you to yell at him?
It depends on how long you want to get yelled at for.
What's your typical fee to yell at somebody? Is it weekly?
Yeah, no, usually with the way I've been setting up with clients lately, it's like $200 an hour. And I do the first week, I kind of get an overview of what their business experience is and kind of give them an overview of how Amazon actually works and how to best use the Amazon to your advantage. And then the second week, I have them send me 50 products that are Amazon or AliExpress and like a spreadsheet. And then the second call, I'll go through product by product with them and kind of narrow it down to like 10 products to order. And then the third week is them receiving the 10 products and how to label them and ship them into Amazon, and then how to market them moving forward. And then like if they ever want to do any update calls after that, but usually it's like 3 1-hour phone calls.
So how many people have you done this with so far?
100, I don't know, honestly.
Okay, out of 100, how many that brought 50 products back to you just bought all 50 of them were like losers?
Honestly, it doesn't happen very often because the $200 an hour really keeps the losers away. And I
don't mean loser people. I'm just saying somebody that just happened to pick 50 products that you said, nah, not that one, not that one, not that one. These are all bad.
That's again, it's the kind of thing where I spend the first hour of consulting, the kind of intro call, telling them exactly what to kind of look for in products, and so it's hard for them to give me a bunch of stinkers right off the bat.
So you do 3 hours, and that gets them through the. What level do they need to be if they were to ever use your consulting service? Can it be newbies right out of the box, or is it matter? Is it their mindset? How many people do you interview them, decide if you're even going to take them? Like, no, this person is so not with it that they're wasting their money.
It's not that I usually don't do too much interviewing them, but there might be people who I don't accept another call after, where it's like, hey, all right, we got through the first phone call. I gave you kind of a background on Amazon and what to look for moving forward. Now go read all the blog posts and all the Facebook groups for the next 2 months and then get back to me, kind of thing, because it's like you got a bunch of stuff to do, where it's like if I'm spending 20 minutes of the hour phone call explaining how the buy box works, it's like it's just not a good use of mine or your time.
Oh, it's costing them big time. All right, Gar's asking, Will, how do you feel about selling in health and beauty or clothing?
If you got a competitive advantage and you got something that can make you stand out, I'm all for it. But if you're just going to try to sell a generic T-shirt with a different logo on it, or if you're going to try to sell just like I saw someone the other day was trying to tell me they're trying to sell like their own type of lotion. And it's like, well, good luck competing with these billion-dollar brands that do millions of dollars in marketing. Why is yours better than theirs, or why is yours different than theirs? And they go, well, I don't really know. And it's like, well, if you don't know, how is the customer going to know?
Good luck competing with the next 500 ASMers that are going into potions and lotions too.
Good luck competing with Dove. Good luck competing with Nivea.
P&G, Procter &
Yeah,
Gamble.
exactly. It's like, I don't even know, but this company's been around for 100 years.
By the way, Dana, yes, we are recording this. You'll get an automatic email with the replay. So you still partner with your brother? Is the latest Amazon effort a joint venture with your brother? No, Gar, you weren't listening. He divorced his brother. Come on, Gar, where are you? But you sleeping, brother? He usually asks a lot of good questions, but now he's dropping the ball.
Current revenue levels, GER is $10,000 a month for July.
Kathy says, I remember Will saying previously that when he does e-commerce, he used unsexy domains like body wash for women. Has his view changed on this at all?
Nope. Like my knee scooter, it was available for $7. My knee scooter domain was injuredleg.com.
Okay. I would call it hopalong.com. Greg, do you ship direct from China to FBA once you get to a certain volume, or never?
I have yet to do it. I know it's possible. I know people do it all the time. I'm just too big of a pussy. I don't trust them enough.
Okay. Stacey, do you recommend sell random products, whatever makes money, or do you recommend to pick a niche and focus on it?
Just make money, and then once you make money for a year straight, the niches will kind of appear themselves. And
you already answered this. You're doing about 10,000 a month.
Well, it's growing about 30% month over month, honestly.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's like the month before 10 grand, I did 3 grand, and then the very first month I did 1 grand. So it's like it's growing pretty quick.
I think you answered how to find your select manufacturers. That's partly through AliExpress and then Alibaba. Do you ever go outside of those two?
Besides meeting him personally at the Canton Fair, no.
And have you been to the fair?
Yep, I went last year and I'm going again this year.
Okay. When you went last year, did you already know why you were going? Did you go there just to look, or did you have a few products that you wanted to source?
I just went there totally blank slate, just had no idea what I wanted to get. And it's awesome because like with Alibaba and AliExpress, it's hard to look for products because you have to search for everything. But with Canton Fair, you can just walk up and down the hallways and see something and go, oh, that's pretty cool. Look it up on Amazon right there on their Wi-Fi and go, oh, this thing goes for $40. Hey, what do you sell that for? $2? Oh, and then someone in the booth next door has the same product. And you go, oh, they got it for $3. But ooh, this one's way nicer. All right, yeah, I'd like to get some of those type of thing. And it just that quick little conversation you had right there would have taken you 2 months back home of ordering a sample, not liking it, ordering a new sample, not liking it, and you just did it in 90 seconds.
Did you do any purchases while you're there?
Yeah, I got these there. Oh, I didn't get these there, but I met the supplier originally, and then eventually I had their business card. And so when I went on my own, I was like, hey, I still got that lady's business card. Maybe we should try to order some sunglasses from her.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you consider going to China without the Canton Fair, or maybe some other fair?
Like just to go?
Well, go to source.
And visit factories and stuff? Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I think this is the kind of craziness that it's this weird mind frame thing that people have where they're totally fine spending $100,000 on an education to become a kindergarten teacher, but no one would ever spend $4,000 to build a business to go to China. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like $4,000, you go to China, you meet your supplier, you find out exactly what the best quality is, you leave China with 5 new product ideas and connections there, and you can start ordering them immediately. And that $4,000 you'll make back in the first month. It's going to take you 4 years as a kindergarten teacher to pay back that 100 grand debt you have, but people are and it's way more societally accepted to go to college for a degree that's not going to make you any money than to spend 4 grand on building a business going to China.
And how long did you stay at Canton Fair? A week, 2 weeks, what?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So which ones did you hit? They have like different.
Yeah, I went all 3 phases.
Okay. So was it straight 3 weeks, or is there like an off week in there?
No, it's like 5 days, 2 days of teardown, 5 days, 2 days of teardown, 5 days kind of thing.
What did you do during the teardown?
I was kind of just doing nothing. I was kind of exploring around, emailing the suppliers, catching up with them because I was getting 50 business cards a day kind of thing. So it's like getting caught up with them, shaking baby, kissing hands, and doing that kind of stuff. And visiting too, a lot of the people who I got more serious with in their booth, they would say, hey, here's my phone number, text me, call me. We'll have a limo or cab pick you up at your hotel, and we'll come bring you over to our factory and show you how good our quality is, blah, blah, blah. And so you can
get to visit any factories?
Oh, yeah, I got a few of them.
And what did you look for when you went through a factory? Was there anything that you could look at to say, "Oh, this makes me feel good," or "Oh, this makes me feel icky"?
They were really, really clean and really, really nice. And you don't know if it's just because they have everyone in town for the Canton Fair or if they're normally like that. You get those kind of weird pictures of the warehouses on Alibaba where you're like, is that really where you work? Because like it looks like everyone has 10 feet of space between them, and it's like I really doubt it's that nice.
Yeah, and they maybe they just rented that whole thing and set up like a sting operation.
Oh yeah, or all the Alibaba suppliers get together and have one big photo shoot in a warehouse and then share all the pictures.
Okay. Let's see. Gar's asking, what product selling price point range do you have now that you're on your own? In other words, do you have like a range, a sweet spot of where you want to sell something?
Not
what's the
really.
Lowest price? What's the lowest price item you would sell?
Lowest price item I'd sell is like $15, and I'd have to get the item for like $1 to $3 to sell for 15.
And you're still okay though with.
And it'd have to move quickly. It'd have to sell like 20 pairs a day. I wouldn't sell like the only reason I'm selling those marijuana sunglasses that I only sell 2 pairs a day and I only make like $10 a unit off it is just because it's so easy. It's like now that I have the supplier set up, it's like 2 clicks to reorder. So it's like might as well just keep reordering because it's making me money. But usually I wouldn't move forward too much with that.
Okay, since you broke up with your brother, did you take any great sellers with you, and are you selling them now? No, Gar, you're not listening. You're going to go back and watch the replay, dude. Because he must have come in late. He said he got rid of his brother. He started over with 0. He started with $70 and bought some sunglasses. That was his first, and that's gone from scratch to $10,000 a month. In how many months now?
3.
It's pretty dang stout. If you ask another question like that, Gar, I'm going to ban you. I got to ask these other questions that came in off the survey, but I know what the answers are. I think you're not going to. Can you answer Anthony? That's not Anthony. Product search techniques selling on Amazon FBA USA from abroad. That's from Paul.
I know you need to use a third party or pre-fulfillment center if you're abroad, and I know you got to fill out a bunch of weird tax forms. But besides that, I don't have really any personal experience with it, so I can't really give too much input.
All right, Chan, I'm going to ask all these questions, but I have a feeling that we've answered most of them. Chan says, profit margin. What is a typical percent from manufacturing, distributors, suppliers to the end user? Who do you sell market to? Distributors, suppliers, end users? I'm not sure about all that. I guess he's saying, do people sell stuff on Amazon FBA to like other wholesalers or B2B?
I think the only B2B would be like contractors buying our stuff and installing it in people's houses, but that's like barely B2B.
Do you do any kind of insurance on a PL product?
Like my brother and I had kind of like an umbrella private label insurance, but my products are too boring and lame right now for me to actually pay any insurance. I don't think they could do anything to anyone.
Do you do your own marketing? Do you have a team? You don't have a team yet.
I don't do marketing.
Okay. Well, you do testing, right?
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a form of marketing. I guess Amazon PPC might be a form of marketing, but not. I don't like do any personal marketing.
Okay. Let's see. Is there any alternatives to FBA for fulfillment and warehousing? I don't think so.
You can get some. They have some other fulfillment centers that aren't Amazon fulfillment centers, but they're going to charge way more because Amazon ships more than pretty much anyone in the world, so they have the cheapest UPS bill in the world. So that's why fulfillment by Amazon is so awesome.
All right. Anthony asked this question. I've got 3 products up on Amazon. My best-selling product has now got 3 resellers on my listing. One is undercutting me. As a result, my sales have dropped dramatically. What can I do about this? Amazon won't do anything. I'm wondering whether I should trademark my brand. You've already told the answer to this. I think you said order it from them, take a picture of it, send it in and say it's counterfeit, and that gets them off the dole.
Yep, exactly. Amazon will freak out and they'll kick the person out immediately.
And then his first question was, can you show us how you go digging and looking for a product to sell on Amazon? We've already answered that question. But I have to ask these questions, even though so they know that I didn't skip their question.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Do most of the manufacturers you deal with require an outlay of $500,000? I think you said earlier that you would like.
No, the reason why we do $500K, is to get price cuts. Is that we would talk to them and say, hey, we're already buying $200K. if we bought 500K hypothetically, what kind of price could you give us? And then they would say 15%. And then we go do some back of the napkin calculations and go, wow, okay, yeah, let's do this. Like, so it's gonna sit there longer, but the combination of cash being tied up and storage fees don't outweigh the amount of money we're gonna make off that 15%.
And what about doing that with a PL product now? Could you go back to your sunglasses guy and say, hey, I've been selling, what are you spending $1,200 with them? And say, hey, I'll spend $5,000. What kind of price?
So instead of me ordering, okay, so I ordered $1,200 the first time, and then I ordered $1,200 the second time.
Right.
But then I ordered 2 other kinds of pairs.
$3,600. Yeah,
but if I would have ordered $3,600 of just this kind, I bet they would have gave me a price cut for sure, obviously.
Okay. Wayne says, please elaborate on your private label sourcing process. I think we've already talked about that. Okay. Do you sell any apparel?
Nope.
Okay. And looks like I'm getting to the end of my questions. Do you have a trick to get a product on the first page of Amazon search result? What do you usually do to increase the BSR? Stacy, you weren't listening.
The best way to get on the first page of Amazon is by going after low competition niches. That's like, it's a stupid answer, but it's true.
So you might be another way to say this would be go after a product that when you do a search, you can't even get through the first page before different products that you weren't searching for show up.
Or like very first part of the second page.
Okay.
Kind of thing. But it's like, if you're sitting there and you're looking at it and you're going, wow, I don't know how I'm going to get on the first page of this keyword, then it's already a bad keyword.
So what are the questions that I haven't asked yet that I should have asked, or what is the thing that people should know that they don't even know to ask you, that you could say, you're getting it all wrong, you're doing it wrong, you shouldn't listen to that, that's bad advice?
I think that the biggest thing I could say is that quality over quantity when it comes to reviews.
To reviews. Quality, you mean quality product or quality reviews?
Quality reviews.
So how can you control? You can't really control that, can you?
Well, no, I'm just saying that if you're going to go out and spam people for reviews, I would rather personally have 10 reviews of people who posted pictures and videos of them opening the packaging and writing 3 paragraphs each than having 500 reviews of people saying great product, shipped fast.
Okay, but isn't that really seller feedback versus a product review, that the product shipped fast?
You know, okay, whatever they're gonna say, they're gonna say great product, worked well the first time I opened it, whatever generic kind of product thing that you could throw in any product review and it would fit. That's what I see a lot of people write, and it's like, that's not going to get someone to pull the trigger to buy. But someone who watches a video and sees someone actually unpackage it, and it's on your listings page, and they see what it looks like, and they go, yeah, I took it out and I installed it and all that kind of stuff, that actually is more the human side, and that's actually going to get someone to buy. And so I focus on the human side more than the Amazon algorithm side.
Yeah, but a lot of these review services, they are doing that. They're giving you this glowing 5-star reviews, and all of a sudden you got like 50 all 5-star reviews, and they're all long and detailed and blah 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 blah. And then that kind of fakey looking as well.
That's why it's it's hard for me to give an absolute answer, but yeah, the more I've seen it, and I do a lot of, like, whenever I'm at my parents' house, I watch over my parents' shoulder as they shop on Amazon, because it's a good kind of thing, because it's like we get stuck in this Amazon bubble and we think that everyone knows what a BSR means. We think that everyone knows that if it's either like, oh, what should my seller name be, because I don't know if it's going to fit my niche. It's like, no one even knows that you're a seller. Everyone thinks everything's sold by Amazon. And so
what do you see your parents doing then?
What I see my parents doing is that the last thing my parents ever do is look at it and go, well, this one has 50 reviews and this one has 500 reviews, so I'm going to buy the 500 review one. They never do that ever. They sit there and look at it and they'll click on it and they'll go, okay, this one's a good price and this one's a good price. What do the reviews say? They look at it and they go, okay, this one says great product. Okay, this one says good product. Oh, this one has a video. And they sit there and watch the video and they go, okay, I'm going to buy this one. And they buy the one with the video and stuff like that. And I see them kind of like, it's just funny watching them skip around the listing, because they don't really read the bullet points. They don't look through all the pictures. They don't read the description. They scroll up and down the listing 2 times real quick, decide if there's anything that catches their eyes, and then moves on.
Well, see, I think there must be a lot of different ways to do it because I do go to the reviews and I always go to the 1-star reviews. And I want to look and see, is there a pattern? Like, hey, as soon as I opened this, the clasp broke off, and the clasp was weak. It broke the second time I used it. This clasp didn't last a week, and it right away I'm saying I'm not buying that because that clasp was going to break.
Me as a buyer, I always do the same exact thing. I always look at the 1-star reviews and see if there's 2 1-star reviews and they're both dumb ones where it's like, yeah, bought this hat, but it didn't fit my head. It's like, well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Big ass head.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had the only negative review I have on these is that, hey, my head was too wide and it didn't fit me. It's like, okay, that's not the sunglasses' fault.
Yeah, you got a fat head.
Yeah, and so it's like, I do that same exact thing, but I think it's still something that we do subconsciously as a seller, that we know exactly which reviews are the best ones to look at. Where like you gotta think of these like baby boomers and that kind of stuff, where it's these people who don't really understand how the whole Amazon algorithm works, and they're just going in there completely blind buying your stuff, and they're just clicking on whatever picture looks flashy and whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a totally different mindset. And so the main advice I'd give people is to try to think of things from a human point of view and try to think of things as like a rookie buyer's point of view, and not look at things from a seller's point of view, and not look at things from like a inside the Amazon seller bubble.
Gar said he did come in late. Robert, my parents like Seinfeld. Whatever they think won't sell, I need to buy containers of it. Whatever they think will sell, I run. Wayne is asking, so how do you get better quality reviews? Do you do anything to influence that at all?
No, I don't, because I don't ever ask for reviews. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna go after reviews, instead of trying to go and give away 500 samples to get 500 reviews, I would give 10 samples to 10 really qualified people and really try to get them to do the best job possible, opposed to giving away all of that product for like these kind of like spammy reviews.
Okay, and then Kathy's asking, when opening a wholesale account like you talked about earlier, how do you avoid telling them where you sell? They seem to be asking me how and where I sell their products. Like, in other words, if she tells them they sell on Amazon, it's like, oh, I know. But is that a problem?
Yeah, I
just upfront with it.
I kind of
you had a different spin on it though, because you could say I'm the expert. She's not the expert because she don't have your experience. So,
but that's the thing though. The person on the phone, I look like I was saying, I look like a 14-year-old kid. If I was Skyping with these suppliers, no way would they believe I'm the Amazon expert. And so Kathy can be the Amazon expert just as much as I can be the Amazon expert. She can go in there, just talk. It's all about faking it till you make it. You talk big and you say, hey, we do tons of sales. We sell on all these different online platforms. We own our own e-commerce site. We sell everywhere. You want to be connected with us. You want to sell with us. We literally sell on more channels than I can even get started describing. So once you start selling to us, your stuff's going to start moving like crazy. And I promise to keep your price high and protect your brand. So you want to work with me moving forward because I'm Kathy. I'm the Amazon expert. I know more than anyone about Amazon. Good luck finding someone who knows more than I do. And what are they going to do? Actually go try to find someone who knows more? No, they're just going to believe
her. This is my partner. James is in the room. Hey, James. I just bought a whiteboard off of Amazon. Reviews all said it was cracked on delivery. And sure enough, the shit was cracked when I came to the house tonight.
That's...
What were you doing buying a whiteboard off of Amazon, man? Why don't you go to Home Depot and buy a 4x8 sheet of whiteboard material and screw it to your wall?
Yeah, it sounds like they tried to warn you, but you didn't believe the warning signs.
Well, that's the thing. When I see a lot of 1-stars that have a pattern like that, I've been warned off several products where I saw something on Facebook. And it's some gimmicky item. Oh, that looks cool. I'll go to Amazon, check it out. And then I start reading 1-star reviews, and they all say the same thing is wrong with it. I'm not touching it.
No, exactly.
Anyway, Jay says, if a product doesn't have many competitors, it may not have a lot of demands. How many sales per day do you expect from a product?
If a product doesn't have very... I can't answer that. It just... I have no idea. It's when you're just saying a generic.
Is it a gut instinct per? By the way, James, would you like to come on the room and ask and chat with Will for a few minutes? James has a blog. I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard it? He's got a service called Feedbacks.
No, yeah, I haven't heard of the service.
It's a review service, but did I invite you, Robert? I think I invited the wrong guy.
Must be an accident.
I think it was an accident. Sorry, I meant to click on James, and then the chat room moved down one. I'm sorry, I'm gonna kick you out.
Fine.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, James, if you got a minute, come into the room. Yeah, James has a very similar story to you. He went from 0 to 50,000 a month in 8 months, and he did exactly what you did. He threw up 6 or 7 or 8 products real quick, figured out which ones sell. He was continually offloading the losers and adding and keeping the winners. And in fact, he's the one that's got that marijuana or had a marijuana product that got confiscated several times. Anyway, I guess James is not coming online. I gave you a chance, James, but you didn't take it. Okay. So I'm getting at the end of my rope here. We're at 10:20. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's about how long most of our things go. Is there anything else that we left off?
Nothing left off. Anybody wants to, they can add me on Facebook. Anybody has any questions, tweet me at WTJERN or email me. It's my name, WilliamTjernlund@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions that I didn't cover or have any questions that you forgot to ask.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here real quick and find this article on Web Retailer. You guys, if you didn't catch it, let me clip it out of here.
My email's in the comments of that article too. So if you look through it, I gave my email out.
Oh, okay, cool. So I've got this. You guys take a look at this. Let's see. I'm going to do a sticky message on this. All right, there it is, guys. That's the article that in the interview. Awesome interview. Had a lot of same kind of stuff. No nonsense. Get it done. Quit haggling over. Quit getting paralyzed by fear. And I have to admit, I started the same way. I did the same thing. I came on, started reading everything about Facebook, and then eventually I got to the point where, okay, I think I got enough. I can move on to this. But I got tied up with researching and analyzing. And here comes James. And
one of the advantages I had is that I was stupid and young when I started selling on Amazon, and so I never thought of any of the bad things that could go wrong. I just kept moving forward and was like, I got nothing to lose kind of thing. And so it's like people who have been burned in business multiple times in the past, I could see how they could be more apprehensive, but since I was young and stupid, I just kept moving forward and didn't care about any like the things that could go wrong.
Okay. James, what happened to you, brother? I saw you come into the room and then you vanished. Anyway, I wanted to make the introduction. He commented on your article. He was really impressed, and he's written some decent articles about the business. Well, anyway, look, Will, I really appreciate you coming on board. There may be a time where we do some kind of like a panel discussion where I have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 past guests on, and of course they all have their own little MO. If I did something like that, would you be open possibly coming back, being on a panel discussion, having a Q&A session, really mixing it up? Because I'm sure we can get that dander flying between the different philosophies out there, which is good.
I think that'd be very good. And Gurr just asked a question real quick, saying when Amazon starts off loans, will you take money? Amazon offered us a $580,000 loan. We didn't take it.
Why not?
Because it just sounds like more headache. Then we just have to buy more inventory, and then we just have to manage more inventory and all that kind of crap. But
if they offered you a $20,000 loan right now to help you, that might help you scale up your 4 or 5 products that you have now. Would you take that?
Yes, that's a different story. I might take that, but I wouldn't. When me and my brother were already had $1 million in stock at Amazon, $580,000 at that point. It's like cash wasn't exactly what we needed. More what we needed was to really lean out and manage our system better.
All right, everybody give your love to Will in the chat room. We're going to wrap this thing up. There's an automatic email that you'll receive. Okay, there you are. Are you there, James? James, are you there? All right, you want to say something, brother? All right, everybody give your love to Will in the chat room. James, can you I can't hear you. Are you talking? Automatic email that you'll receive. Okay, there you go.
I think he's delayed.
Oh, that's what it is.
Is this thing working?
Yes, it is working, but because you're delayed, that's what it is.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead and say something.
About what?
Just whatever. Do you have questions you want to ask Will before we wrap this up?
Nah, man. Will, when I jumped on this, I actually had you guys playing in the background, but Will is sharp dude.
Thank you.
He actually sounded like me at one point because I was like, that's exactly my philosophies. It's I think with Amazon is that a lot of people follow by the books, kind of like what a course says and do this, do that. That when really it's a business, right? So if you have a lot of business logic and a lot of business sense and philosophies and stuff, it works pretty much the same. And I think that's the one X factor that successful sellers and those that kind of die off, do a little bit then die off is that business savvy. And I think that's something that I don't know. I don't know if you can teach it. I think it's just reading books and applying it and just learning from trial and error and failures and stuff. But
yeah, I really believe you have to get into the mode of figure out what it takes to run a business and read a few books. Get off of Facebook and quit reading about Alibaba or sourcing products and read something like you talked about, the book that what was the book that you liked? It was the 4-Hour Work Week, How to Collapse Time Frames. The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Good to Great by Jim, I can't remember, Jim Condit, I think. Why companies, that has nothing to do with Amazon, but it is everything to do with running a quality business. Another good book is Getting Everything You Can from All You Got from Ed Gunn. I can't think of his name now. It's one of the greatest books I've ever read. And the other one is the Guerrilla Marketing series. Rich Dad Poor Dad gives you a mindset on money, how to manage money, and what an asset is versus liability, all those kind of things. Will, you've got all this mastered. It's great that you started at 12. He started 12 years old, James.
oh, dang.
Are you 24 today? Are you 24 years old?
Yeah, I'm 24.
24. So I can't wait to see what you're going to do over this next year. And again, we'll probably have you back on a panel discussion. But anyway, I appreciate so much that you gave us your time. You gave us 2.5 hours. It's very valuable. I don't know what can I do to let you know how much I do appreciate you doing this. You're serving the community here. And if anybody does want to inquire about consulting services, they contact you through email. You can deal with that. We don't sell anything on here, but hey, if somebody wants a mentorship and they think they could work with you and you think you could work with them, and then it's a good match, I would be happy if they found it out for themselves. With that, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Be looking for next week. We've got Greg Mercer on from Jungle Scout. So we'll sliced and diced Jungle Scout earlier, so we'll see if Greg can defend himself next week and give us some information about how. If you could ask a question to Greg Mercer, the founder of Jungle Scout, on tracking sales, what would your question be to him?
What is his accuracy rate?
His what?
His accuracy rate.
Yeah, and how would you even measure that? He even admitted that his accuracy was really low early on, but as he's gathered more data and refined his approach, that his data is getting more accurate. But I guess the only way to do that is to compare it.
He's got to contact people like my brother and I who have 1,000 SKUs at least that have the buy box 100%. And then you can actually see exactly what the sales velocity is. But even once you start not owning the buy box 100%, it starts getting a little murky. And so it's like if you own the buy box 100% and you have a large sample size, then you can actually get some like actual statistical analysis.
So let me ask you this: if I hooked him up with you and your brother, would it be advantageous for him to maybe do a test run? Because let's say he comes back and he is accurate. Wouldn't that be a tool?
I already did a test run.
Yeah, but when did you do it?
Probably a month ago.
Oh, really? Was it since he came out with his pro version?
I honestly don't know. It's like probably a month and a half ago I did that. I did, AMZ Shark, and I did FBA Toolkit. Okay.
Just to me, it would be an interesting test to see, and if you've already tested it, but I don't think you did because you would have had to. Did you buy his tool? Did you buy it?
I know. I bought it. Me and my brother bought it because it's kind of thing where it's like if we do test, it's like $20 to us or $100 to us to buy one of these softwares is nothing. And if we test it and it does end up being correct, it's the best tool we could ever have. So it's kind of like the thing where it's like you pay the virtual assistant $100 to have them go through all the SKUs and bounce all the numbers off each other, and then you pay $100 for the software, and it's like $200 to test if the software is real or not. It's pretty legit.
Well, I'm trying to figure out which version you bought. Did you pay $40? Did you pay $80 or pay $147? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, all right.
I paid
Never
40
mind.
or 80.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
just trying
right.
to. All right. Hey, Will, appreciate you, brother. Hey, guys, check out if you do me a favor, if you liked what you saw tonight, go to the Facebook group where I posted this webinar, make a comment, and tell everybody how great it is, because there's a lot of people out there that can sign up right there on the Facebook group, even though it's not live anymore. They can still click the link and still get the replay link, and other folks can learn more about what Will's taught us tonight. If you're smart, you're going to go back and listen to this thing over again, take a notebook, take a few notes, and then go out and start doing this stuff. Will, appreciate you, brother. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys.
See you, Will.
Thanks, James. Cheers.
Nice meeting you, James.
Yep.